All right, Coulter, we're going to come back and have game of the week. Keith Dunkel alongside Scott Dunkel, and also on the headset with us now, Coulter Tao, the moment everyone's been waiting for, and now we're excited to have him on the headset with us. Coulter, go ahead and talk a little bit about what you've seen so far and your prediction for tonight.
For starters, Heath, another spectacular performance by the Tornadoes last week at Gibbs. Both teams came in undefeated on the year, and I thought Alcoa really dominated every aspect of the game, securing their first region and road victory of the season. Looking forward to tonight. There are several things I'll be keeping an eye on. I watched some game film on West this week, and on defense, they have a couple of really good linebackers that may make things difficult on Alcoa's running game, but Heath, if our blockers can really get to their man and hold their blocks, I don't believe the Rebel defense will slow down our great platoon of running backs. I do think this is a game where either Cherry or Damari DeBose could break out with a few long chunk runs. And through the air, I see Thomas Manu continuing to move the ball with ease and with his great accuracy, throwing for multiple touchdowns once again. Moving over to the Rebel offense and Tornado defense. For the Rebel offense, experienced running back Messiah Wren has some good quickness and wiggle. I saw him always trying to fight for extra yards, but unfortunately for the Rebels, his blockers weren't creating much of any daylight for him. And with our Tornado defense excelling at stopping the rushing attack, I predict tough sledding for Wren and the other West running backs tonight. New Rebel quarterback Harrison has limited starting experience. I saw several plays where he sort of struggled with his accuracy and decision making, which isn't shocking for a young quarterback like him, obviously. But I do think this is a game where our great ball hawks on defense may have multiple opportunities to pick off the football. And Heath, I don't want to sound too harsh about the Rebels. I see a lot of potential in their squad. I just think everything with Icehead and them being a really young team and with their first-year head coach tonight may be a difficult one. With all that being said, I'm predicting a final score of 48-7 with our Tornadoes securing their second road victory on the season and staying perfect at 4-0.
All right, Coulter, well, thank you so much for that prediction. 48-7, certainly a good prediction by you. Scott and I gave a few last night as well on Tornado Live. You can catch Tornado Live each and every Wednesday night at Black Horse Pub and Brewery. We certainly appreciate them sponsoring that and allowing us to come out there from 6 to 7, sometimes a little bit longer, just depending on who we have in the lineup. We had a great group of guys with us on the headset last night. Jamirius Abuhanya and Jalen Pinson came on the call with us and did a phenomenal job and really loved getting to talk with them. Jalen, a senior who has been patient waiting his turn and has really had a great start to his senior year. And then Jamirius Abuhanya, a young man who's been getting opportunities over the last few years and continued to make plays on both sides of the ball. And he has been very impressive. But Scott, now on the field, a quick moment of silence. So just going to take a minute here to get a little bit softer as we want to pay our respects here. Both captains for both squads at midfield, getting ready for the coin toss. We will take a look down there and give you that lineup to let you know who are the captains for the game tonight. Taking a look at the West roster, you've got number 1, Abel Anslet. You've got number 3, Sam Lavelle. Number 8, Jack Harrison. for West, and then one more lineman on the field as well, currently being blocked. I think, Scott, if I'm looking at that correctly on the field, it looks like it might be 66. I think it is 66 for them. That is Oliver Schimmel. So that is the captains for the West Rebels. We'll give you your Tornado captains here in just a moment as they are conducting the coin toss. But while we have Coulter on the headset with us, Coulter, you gave us your score prediction. You've seen a lot so far this year, and I always enjoy kind of getting your vantage point because you do something where you really kind of get to do a deep dive of the stats each and every week, keeping up with it. So your perspective may be a little bit different from ours based on the numbers you're seeing. Is there any player in particular that's really stood out to you so far for Alcoa?
Well, obviously, a lot of people have been talking about quarterback Thomas Manu. You and Scott were talking to a couple of the receivers on Tornado Live, and they were talking about how a switch just flipped in him in the summer, and have I seen it on the field? He's done a great job replacing senior quarterback Eli Graff.
Yeah, he really has. Watching his growth this season has been really fun to watch, and I feel like it's happening fast before our eyes. You saw him grow up quick in that Maryville game, had a fantastic night, and then in Bearden, the same, as he was nearly perfect, only one incompletion in that ball game, threw 6 touchdowns. That was only in the first half, and then last week as well against Gibbs, throwing 3 passing touchdowns as well. As trying to take a look down on the field as they make their way off, Blair Goodson, looks like Kenny Harris, and then also number 58, Lane Ferguson, the 3 captains at midfield for the Tornadoes tonight. We'll find out in a moment, see if anyone saw who won the coin toss and what the outcome was for that. But we'll get ready to kick things off here in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Tornado football here at West High School. Welcome back into the Davids Abbey Carpet Game of the Week. Keith Dunkel alongside Scott Dunkel, and now it's football time here in East Tennessee as your Alcoa Tornadoes getting ready to kick things off. Kyron Tyson will be doing the kicking duties for Alcoa. As for West, taking a look down on the field, it looks like back to receive number 13, Will Schrabel. Also number 38, Jamari Goins as well, one of the returners back there waiting. Schrabel's the one furthest back. Looks like Schrabel, Sam Lavelle, and then number 22, Messiah Wren in front of him. So the West crowd in front of us up on their feet. Tornado Nation on the other side getting ready for this one, and we are off and away as that kick is back. That kick will go into the end zone for a touchback. And now the Tornadoes will come out on defense for the first time today.
Yeah, hey, it's Alcoa. Tyson getting pretty regular with those kicks into the end zone, starting each team at the 20-yard line. Gets to be something you get accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, Scott booting that one back for a touchback. The West Rebels will come out on offense. And, Scott, if they're going to have a chance in this ball game, I think the biggest thing for them is really trying to see if they can punch the Tornadoes in the mouth quickly and try to get a drive sustained and move it down the field. As they're on offense, the Tornadoes on defense, Alcoa runs a 3-4 defense. Some of the key linebackers you'll probably hear us talking about tonight: Darius Sutterth, Cade Stinnett, Man Henry, just to name a few. big-time playmakers for Alcoa, but a lot of talent on that side of the football. Really didn't lose a ton on that side of the football, Scott. When you look at Alcoa defensively, they brought a lot back. Trips to the right, single receiver to the left. They'll send a man from the trip side in motion to the left, turn, fake it to him on a jet sweep, hand it off to the running back. Running back trying to bounce around the left side, and it was Cade Stinnett who got into the backfield, got behind him, and a shoestring tackle for a loss.
Yeah, getting quickly into the backfield back there, making that play go nowhere, Heath.
So it'll now be 2nd and 12 for the Rebels. Quickly back to the line of scrimmage in the pistol formation. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Quarterback will send a man from the left to the right in motions, creating trips on the right side. He'll roll out to that strong side, decide to take it himself. Starts to feel some pressure from Darius Sutterth to his left, and he'll slide down, but he gets past the original line of scrimmage. It's now going to be 3rd and around 7 for the Rebels.
Yeah, Heath, it looked like Harrison could have gotten more yardage, just put his head down and ran, but instead solid defense coming at him and just went on ahead and dropped.
Yeah, and I was surprised by that too, Scott. Thought he would have tried to fight for a little bit more and create a 3rd and short. Now still kind of a 3rd and medium situation for him and an Alcoa team who can bring some pressure very quickly. Got the running back to the left in the shotgun formation, trips to the left, single receiver to the right. He'll turn, hand it off up the middle, try to catch the Tornadoes sleeping, and they do, as the Rebels are able to bulldoze their way for a 1st down on the right side.
And that looks like Lee on the carry for the Rebels, as he's able to gain about 8 on that one. But West going into a hurry-up offense.
Yeah, trying to wear the Tornadoes out with an up-tempo offense here. Trips to the left, single receiver to the right. Fake the snap with a clap, look over to the sidelines and get an adjustment from the play caller. Quarterback calls it out to his offensive line. He's got a running back behind him in the pistol. He'll get the snap, he'll turn, he'll hand it off. Plenty of room to run and bulldozing forward, and it'll be 2nd and 4 for the Rebels. So a great start here on this drive. So then I was telling you, Scott, they'd have to keep moving quick. They'd have to start really try to punch this defense in the mouth and make a statement on this first drive. They're moving the ball quite well so far. There's the snap, there's the handoff. They're going to continue to feed the workhorse who's having a good start to this offensive drive. That was Raheem Lee on the carry. It'll now be 3rd and short.
And they're going to take Lee out, it looks like, and bring in, that's number 22, Messiah Wren.
Wren, another one of their playmakers that Coulter Tao talked about in the pregame show, said got a little bit of wiggle, so look out for him and that speed if they hand him the football. And if I'm Alcoa, I'm looking for that handoff here, as it will be Wren on the carry. Wren dragging a defender who had him by the shoestring and kind of spun out of it as he was falling forward. And I will see where they spot him. I think they're going to give it to him. They will. Favorable spot. It's a 1st down.
Yeah, I would have been surprised had they not saw the 1st down.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought he got it, and the refs thought so too. 1st and 10 for the Rebels. Ball on the 41. Turn, they'll give Wren another opportunity at running back. He'll cut it back up the middle. Tried to bounce it outside, saw the Tornadoes out there, and cut it up the middle for a positive gain. A 4-yard carry. It's now 2nd and 6. Man Henry's helmet came off, so he'll have to come off the field for one play. Tornadoes will bring in Gregory Stevenson, a sophomore on the defense.
Yeah, so far a really good start for West, just able to run the ball down between the tackles basically on Alcoa here.
Continuing to stay on the ground, Wren will get another carry. Wren trying to find some space.
Better job.
Tornadoes plugging every hole he was looking for. Jamiri Sabuhani, the first one on the scene, followed by some assistance from Mason Laster.
Yeah, Wren and Lee both able to, usually they've been finding that hole, that gap, and shooting that and getting some extra yards, but Alcoa having nothing of that this time.
Looking for a crease, but the Tornadoes were having none of it. It is 3rd and 5 for West. So will the Rebels continue to stay on the ground, or will they look to try to go through the air here? They'll send a man in motion, now trips to the right. Quarterback will roll to that strong side, throw it to the outside, gets his feet taken out from under him by Laster, and it'll be 4th and short. Scott, midfield, 4th and 1. I have a feeling West is going to go for it here.
Yeah, I've got an injured player, though. He took that shot when he got his legs knocked out from under him. He fell flat straight on his back and hit in his head. So they're going to take a look at him. May have got the breath knocked out of him, or just kind of a big jolt right there.
4th and 1 for the Rebels, a injury timeout on the field, a Bill Cox Furniture timeout for us. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment on the David Zabby Carpet Game of the Week on 94.3 Jack FM. Week here at West High School tonight on a
but at least he's walking with assistance off the field. Took a really hard shot.
So in a moment, Scott, we'll go to Paige Dower and see kind of what her vantage point was of that play and how the player fell, and just kind of check in on him and what she saw. So we'll get her opinion here in just a moment. It looks like they're still taking their time to make their way out on the field. So let's go ahead and go to Paige. Paige, what did you see on that play?
Just make sure the ends, if we're setting the edge, get out there and set the edge. Don't do it late. Knock the hands down and set the edge.
Yeah, absolutely. So many different things could happen on that. When you see a fall like that, you think about a neck injury, you think about potentially a concussion, as it sounded like they were trying to test there for him, a back injury, or getting just getting the wind knocked out of you because of a really tough, hard fall. So thanks, Paige, for being Johnny on the spot there, getting a good look at that one for us. Hopefully that player is okay and Ansley can make his way back in the ball game. But right now, Scott, decision time for the West Rebels. 4th and 1. And if I am Alcoa, the first thing I'm doing, Scott, is I'm making sure I'm telling my players, do not jump.
Right, Heath. That's the last thing you want to do right now and give West.
And right there you see it as West tried to see if they could get Alcoa to jump off sides. They do not. Quarterback looks back over to the sidelines and gets the adjusted play call. 4th and 1, handoff up the middle, looking for some space. He's not going to have it.
Good job. Good job right there. So it looks like he's going to be about a yard, half a yard short. But either way, it doesn't matter. It'll be first down, Alcoa.
Forced him to cut it out around the left tackle, and then right there was the defense plugging up the hole and bringing him down to the turf and keeping him short. So with that big-time stop, it is time for the Tornado offense to make their way out on the field. And Scott, everywhere they've gone this season, you talk about bringing the storm, the Tornadoes offense has done just that.
Right, Heath. Quick and fast and furious is what Alcoa does.
A lot of different playmakers for this Tornado offense as they break the huddle. It'll be Condis Cherry in the backfield with Manu. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Jalen Pinson also split off to the right side at tight end. They'll send Jacoby Cooper in motion now over to the single receiver side. Fake the handoff, throw it to Cooper on the outside. Jameer Dean trying to set up a block. Jacoby Cooper gets past 1 defender and then tackled. It'll be second down.
Yeah, good play from Messiah Wren as he came up, was able to take Cooper's legs out from under him. Still, Cooper able to get about 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, originally spotted 3 yards, ended up giving him 4 after the official spot. So it'll now be 2nd and 6 for the Tornadoes. They break the huddle. You've got Jacoby Cooper heading back to the left side with Abu Hanya. You've got Jameer Dean, the single receiver, to the right. Jalen Pinson now split off to the left side over with the 2 receivers. Cherry remains in the backfield with Manu. Manu gets the snap. There's the fake handoff. Pass up the middle, complete by Jameer Dean. Dean to the 30. Dean had someone wrapped around his foot, couldn't get out of the tackle, and it allowed the rest of the Rebel defense in the secondary to catch up and finish him off, but not before picking up a big-time Marable Top Shop Tornado first down.
Yeah, good call for Alcoa. Get into the middle of that defense. They only had 1 deep safety. The rest was just in a package there that was able to try to stop Alcoa, but Alcoa able to break through the middle of it.
1st and 10 for the Tornadoes. Back to it they go. Manu the snap, the fake pitch. Manu will keep it himself up the middle. He's got some room to run. He'll bounce it to the outside near the sideline. There he goes, and tackled around the 5. But Scott, there is a penalty flag thrown late as he's being tackled out of bounds, and I almost wonder if maybe it's a hold down the field.
They're trying to look to see what the referees are going to call. Don't see it yet.
So should the play hold up, it would be inside the 5 for the Tornadoes. But Scott, sometimes when you're making those big time runs and other players trying to help open things up for you, you're going to have things like this happen. And I wonder if the referees got a hold on the play on the offense. If so, it will move the Tornadoes in the wrong direction. That exactly looks like where they're going. So the ref getting ready to make the call. It is a holding penalty on Alcoa.
Yeah, I was going to say it needed to be a spot foul, so it would be 10 yards from where it occurred, which still gives Alcoa a 2nd down. It looks like about maybe 2, possibly 3.
Looks like around 4 yards away from a first down for the Tornadoes. So it'll be 1st and 4 for Alcoa.
I'll say 3.5.
2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, as Pinson split off as a wide receiver this time in the formation. Dropping back in the shotgun, throwing outside, caught by Pinson, and that's a Tornado first down. A Marable Top Shop Tornado first down for Alcoa as Pinson catches it, quickly escorted out of bounds, and the Tornado offense continues to hum. As Scott, we've entered the Clean Roofs Tornado Maroon Zone.
There you go, right color.
First down for Alcoa, ball at the 17. Single receiver to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Alcoa moving from left to right on your radio dial. It's their first offensive possession. It's 0-0, 6:49 left to go in the first. Condis Cherry on the outside trying to turn on the burner. Scott, doesn't matter. It's going to be a holding penalty on Jacoby Cooper as they immediately threw that one at Cooper as Condis Cherry was coming around the right side. And you saw Cooper kind of throw up his hands and look at the referee just kind of in amazement as he's not sure what they saw. Thought he had a clean block there. But again, another holding penalty as Alcoa's getting close to the end zone, going to move them backwards yet again.
Yeah, and there's something very frustrating to the coach and the offensive coordinators and the other coaches as well, is when you see a good play get blown up by something like that.
So we'll see where they mark this one. This is going to be 1st and very long now for Alcoa. Alcoa's done a good job, though, on this drive, getting some chunk plays down the field. Trying to take a look at where they officially are going to spot this one. Looks close to around 1st and 20. The snap, empty backfield, they'll throw it, complete to Abuhanya. Abuhanya breaks one tackle, tries to break the other, but they'll wrap him up and not let go. He almost got out of it, Scott. Had 3 defenders on him and still tried to shake it. He gets close to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it looks like he made it right back to the that marker, Heath. So good play. He was not coming down. They were going to have to work hard to bring him down. He wants that player of the game this week.
A great first down play for Alcoa. It will be 2nd and 10 now. Trips to the right, single receive, 2 receivers to the left. Empty backfield. Manu trying a quarterback sneak. West sniffed that one out, and no gain. It'll be 3rd and 10. And Scott, you were talking about Jameer Sabuhanya looking like on the field like he's trying to get that player of the week, that Print FX player of the week, brought to you by Kenny Jarvis of Farm Bureau. And you're exactly right. That was something he said to us yesterday as he was making his way off the stage. He said, I'm coming for that player of the week this week. And then Jalen Pinson right behind him said, no, I'm coming for it. So we'll see if one of them is able to secure it in this ball game tonight. But right now, at that tackle on Manu, they call it a loss of 1. It's 3rd and 11 for Alcoa. Alcoa with a trips bunch formation on the right side. We've seen them run a few different variations of things out of that. They'll now move Jacoby Cooper to the outside of it. Manu rolls out. Manu throws to the side. Cooper makes the catch. Makes one-man miss. Hustles ahead. Gets inside the 10. Down at the 9.
Really close to it.
It's going to bring up 4th and a couple for Alcoa. Decision time here. Scott, you wonder, do you think about on 4th and around 2 or 3, kicking the field goal with Kyron Tyson to just get some points on the board? Or are you going for it?
This early, go ahead and go for it.
And that looks like exactly what the Tornadoes will do.
They said about 4th and 2.
They break the huddle, and they've got Micah Jones in the backfield with Manu. Now, I would look to see if Alcoa tries to get West to jump before they call a play, just to see if they can get a free 5 yards. They won't. They'll hand it off to Jones. Jones makes one-man miss. He powers ahead, continuing to drive inside the 5, and that is another Maryville Top Shot Tornado first down.
And we talked about him last night, too, about that build, that he's able to use more power this year and really able to drive that ball forward as he was able to get that first down for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, Micah Jones, previously a quarterback, Scott. Last year, his first year playing the running back position. Thought he really matured and learned a lot throughout the season, and he has added some size this year. Still got some speed, but he's a bruiser as well. They'll turn. They'll give him another opportunity. Up the middle he goes. Is he going to get in? Waiting for the official call.
They're going to say no, about half a yard short.
I don't know how.
I don't either.
We need a pylon cam. I thought he got in.
I did too. Looked to me like he was laying in the end zone.
You think next time we could have like a vote in the booth? Majority wins. Turn handoff up the middle. There he goes, diving over the pile. And he's in for a Delosier Auction Tornado touchdown.
And as we talked about, Alcoa is being very consistent on first drives this year.
Great start to the game by the Tornadoes. Just moved quickly down the field. A couple penalties slowed them down for a moment, but they continued to just fight back. And that's the great thing about this offense, Scott. They're so explosive that more often than not, they are able to overcome those things. Now, obviously not something you want to become a habit,
right? But
they've done a really good job of overcoming. Thomas Manu, 5 of 5 on that drive for 47 yards. The extra point is up. The extra point is doing. So Manu, a great start to the ball game. Micah Jones picks up his first touchdown of the night. 7-0 your score, Alcoa. Let's take a quick break and we'll be back on 94.3 Jack FM.
Both those penalties were holding, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Thomas Manu rushed did not count.
That'll tell you. Ask him.
Thomas Manu rushed didn't count. They had a penalty, like on the one that he got to the side, they had a penalty.
They gave it to where the foul occurred, you gave him much of the foul occurred. So if you got like 100 yards from the holding occurred, you go back and you give him 2 yards.
I didn't have anything.
I know, everybody's telling me. Adrian Radio. As Micah Jones bulldozed his way into the maroon rectangle. The extra point was up and due, and it's 7-0 Alcoa. Alcoa kicked it off moments ago. West Rebels back on offense, and on the first play of the drive, they'll hand the football off to number 2. That is Raheem Lee on the carry. A positive gain. It's going to be now 2nd and about 6. Scott, that first offensive drive for West, very promising. Got themselves all the way to the 50, but then got stopped on 4th and 1.
That they did, Heath, and on that last play, Abihanya was the one who made the tackle. Ball's loose.
Yeah, Scott, quarterback looks like a little bit of a high snap, and then as he was trying to contain it and corral it, it went way up in the air. He had to turn around and chase it, and as he caught it, just hit the turf to try to escape the Tornadoes who were bearing down on him. So now moving in the wrong direction.
It came up, and he reached for it. When he did, he just deflected it up in the air. Yeah.
Kind of like a setter in volleyball trying to set up someone for the kill.
But lost a lot of yardage on that.
They'll turn, now look to try to set up a screen, and a good job by number 3, Damari DeBose. As soon as the running back tried to catch it on the screen, he laid the wood, and the ball squirted right out of his hands for an incompletion.
Yeah, I tried to get a little screen out there to Lee, and DeBose right on top of it. So with that being said, West is going to punt now, as that's number 47. That looks like, yes, Colston Colquitt.
Quick 3 and out for the Rebels after that first drive that had so much promise. A momentum killer by the Alcoa Tornadoes, stopping things on 4th and 1 and then turning around and scoring quickly. So now the Rebels will look to punt it away, and they're going to more than likely, Scott, give Alcoa great field position again. Jacoby Cooper will catch it at the 45. A fair catch is what he calls, and the Tornado offense will make their way out again.
Yeah, much better punt. Yeah, much better punt than what we were seeing last week, as Alcoa started 2 straight drives with easy yardage.
They did, and Scott, the punt was made by Colston Colquitt, one of the family members of the Colquitt clan, and not a bad punt, but Alcoa great field position because of the West Rebels moving in the wrong direction. So the Tornadoes at the 45 yards away from Paydirt with 2:40 left to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Tornadoes in the lead. Tight end split off to the left side. 2 receivers on that side, a single receiver on the right. Handoff up the middle. Damari DeBose patiently waiting, trying to find some space as 2 defenders came hustling off the edge on both sides. And so he kind of looked at both of them, then shot up the middle, trying to get what he could. He'll pick up 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
This time Alcoa getting to the line quickly. As looks like we have an issue.
Yeah, ref saw something. Not sure if it was blood or some kind of uniform malfunction, but they send one of the linebackers off the field for the Rebels. A new one will come in for West.
Yeah, it was J.P. Peace.
So Morgan Farrell now out there. And Scott, Alcoa tries to run the ball. This time nothing doing. They'll lose some yardage and go behind the original line of scrimmage as Damari DeBose gets taken down in the backfield.
Yeah, blew the lineup right there. They had 3 guys already back there waiting on him, forcing Alcoa into a passing situation.
3rd and 12 for Alcoa. Empty backfield. Can the line hold up? Give Manu some time to deliver. 2 receivers to the left and trips to the right. And helping out Alcoa is West with a free 5 yards as they get them to jump off sides.
Yeah, Alcoa able to get Gibbs to do that 5 times last week.
And you know that got to be frustrated if you're the coaches for West, Scott, is your players on defense do what they need to do there, making it a 3rd and long for Alcoa, and then just got to stay disciplined, got to be patient, got to really almost kind of anticipate sometimes those things as if you were watching the film from last week. Like you said, Alcoa did that several times against Gibbs and just kind of caught West a little bit too aggressive on the play and a free 5. So it'll now be 3rd and 8 for Alcoa. Or 3rd and 7, excuse me.
And gave Alcoa those yardage they lost right back.
Empty backfield, and before the Tornadoes can get it off, a timeout is called. That timeout will be by the Tornadoes. So a Bill Cox furniture timeout for Alcoa. While they've got a timeout, Scott, we'll keep it here and take a look real quick at the stats so far. Just continuing to keep updated on that, as I've got a great vantage point sitting close to Coulter tonight. So I'll continue to try my best to keep you updated on those. Alcoa so far 6 rushing attempts tonight. Not a lot doing on the ground, only 6 yards rushing, but 5 of 5 through the air for 47 yards. Now they do have 1 touchdown courtesy of the run, thanks to Micah Jones. But I feel like West has done a really good job trying to prevent big-time runs from Alcoa and forcing it to kind of be a one-sided affair. Like, hey, we're not going to let you run the ball. We're going to make you beat us through the air.
Yeah, and that's just it. Alcoa's been able to do just that, as they've been pretty consistent on their passing.
Yeah, the great thing about this Tornado team is it's really kind of a pick your poison. If you want to stop one thing, the good thing is Alcoa's good at both. And here they come on 3rd down after the timeout. Empty backfield for Manu. Trips to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Manu surveys the field. He'll get the snap. He'll draw back. Looks to the trip side. Throw it on the slant route to Cooper. Cooper gets tackled forward for a 1st down.
And just cutting right across the middle of the defense and then diving across the 35-yard line, getting to the 34, exactly what he needed for that 1st down. And that is a Marable top shot. Tornado 1st down.
You got to be willing to take some punishment anytime you're cutting across the middle into the teeth of the defense. And Cooper holds on to the ball, lowers his helmet, falls forward for a Marable top shot 1st down. 1st and 10 for Alcoa. They're right back to the line of scrimmage. A handoff, no, a fake. Manu will roll out. He'll look to put it down the field. It's caught at the 20. Broken tackle. There he goes. Zamirius Abuhanya in for a Delosier auction Tornado touchdown.
Good move for Abuhanya, as he was able to shake out that defender, had Green in front of him, and just made it the rest of the way in with ease.
Well, he told us last night, Scott, he wanted that player of the game, and a great start for him, getting the Delosier auction Tornado touchdown, ripping off from the defender and being able to cut it down the field for a big-time gain and a touchdown for Alcoa. So the 2nd score of the day for the Tornadoes, Kyron Tyson getting ready for the extra point. There's the snap. The kick is up, and it is good. Your score with 39.7 seconds left to go in the 1st quarter. It is Alcoa 14, West 0. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to the David's Abbey Carpet Game of the Week on 94.3 Jack FM. Game of the week, Alcoa versus West here at West High School, and so far all Tornadoes. 39.7 seconds left to go in the 1st quarter. 14-0, Alcoa in the lead. The Tornadoes kicked off for a touchback, and now the Rebels will come out on their 3rd offensive drive. First drive for the Rebels, moved the ball down the field, but got stopped on 4th and 1 near the 50. On the 2nd drive, they just put it in reverse, moved backwards, and then ended up putting it away, giving Alcoa a great field position yet again, and the Tornadoes took advantage of it. Here on the 3rd offensive drive, they'll hand it off and out to the left side, and got some room to run for the West Rebels was number 2, Raheem Lee. Raheem Lee turns on the burners and had one man to beat, who made the tackle, but not before Lee picked up a 1st down.
Yeah, and getting a good block on the corner as well, allowing him to get that far outside for the Rebels. Otherwise, he would have been caught by Alcoa's defender.
They'll hand the football up to Lee again. Lee will pick up a couple. It'll now be 2nd down. This time, instead of bouncing to the outside, cutting up the middle. And they've had some success off and on with doing that, Scott. But it looks like Alcoa is making some adjustments, trying to be able to close those gaps a little bit quicker.
Yeah, we had a couple of guys get in back towards the backfield. He was able to just slip right in between them.
When you do this and play him on top of the grid, when you do this and play him in two, right? He's a full row. It looks like he's a
So we'll take the referee's trying to do something. Running out the quarter, that's what happened. Okay, everybody was standing around.
Yeah, Scott, with that run, they just went ahead and let the clock roll. So that'll do it for the end of the first quarter. First quarter dominated by the Tornadoes, 14-0 Alcoa tonight, as a touchdown from Micah Jones, a touchdown from Jamirius Abuhanya gets things started for Alcoa. But Scott, I'll give Wes some credit here. I've been impressed with their fight and their resolve in this game so far. They've had 2 games so far this year that haven't gone the way they've wanted to, and the game against Maryville really got away from them. And right now, to be at the end of the first quarter, only down 2 scores to one of the best teams in the state, if I'm the coach for West, I have to be pleased, at least with the fight they're showing so far, trying to keep this one as close as they can.
Right, Heath, that they are doing. And the thing, too, I'm sure they weren't real pleased with getting punched in the mouth basically like they did against Maryville, as Maryville really just pounded them really hard in the first half and then got a few points later on to make that score what it was. But they're trying to show that we are a better team than what we showed against Maryville anyway.
Yeah, Alcoa so far this season, 3-0, 1-0 in region play. They played 2 6A opponents, then moved down to their classification in 4A, and then jumping back up tonight to the 5A classification. Great way to start the season for a resume, Scott, saying that you've won in 4A, 5A, and the highest class there is in Tennessee, 6A, twice.
Yes, but especially saying against Maryville.
Mm-hmm. So the Rebels will come out here in a moment here in the second quarter to continue trying to move the football down the field. That first play from the line of scrimmage in the third offensive drive was able to bounce outside for a first down. And for West right now, Scott, you almost want to just continue to go with what's working and to feed those 2 running backs who've been your playmakers so far.
That exactly, Heath. Lee and also that is Wren have been able to just get some good yardage. Again, you talked about going backwards last time. It was a bad snap that deflected off the quarterback's hands and gave a huge loss for West. They just weren't able to do anything with it on the next play, forced them to punt.
Yeah, Raheem Lee's been the primary running back for them tonight. 8 carries for 32 yards, averaging 4 yards a carry for the Rebels. But it's always nice when you've got a few running backs you can go to and rotate through, Scott, as we know from firsthand experience watching Alcoa each and every week. So many different playmakers in the backfield that they can go to. Got to know over the last few weeks, too, Scott, that they're going to be adding another as Justin Lindsay back in the A. And so hopefully we'll see him start getting some opportunities soon as they're revving him back up to get going. Shout out to Uncle Jay, who listens to us each and every week. Appreciate him, and hope he's enjoying the call tonight. Finally back to it as we'll start the second down, handoff up the middle, and there goes Lee again. But kind of got caught behind one of his players, Scott, and kind of ran into him and had to stop for a minute and then try to find a new way to go. Slowed him down from what I thought could have been a first down had he hit the right hole, and instead it's going to be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, Heath, I was wondering about that too. He went into the back of his blocker really hard, and it looked like it just kind of
missed the cut
a little bit.
Yeah, so 3rd and 5 for West. They'll send in man in motion. Quarterback will drop back. Here comes the pressure. He'll throw it to the outside, and looked like he was going to make the catch, but Scott, ultimately, as he was spinning and trying to hold on to it, he dropped it as he hit the turf. So it'll be 4th and 5, and just like that, the Rebels will look to punt again. So they'll send out their punting team. As for Alcoa, they'll bring in their punt return team. They've kind of rotated in and out their punt returners as we see each and every week. Sometimes it's Jacoby Cooper. Sometimes it's Jameer Dean. It was Jacoby Cooper who caught the last one at the 45. Now Jameer Dean waiting to catch this one from Colquitt.
Yeah, Colquitt, definitely a name you've heard a lot of around Knoxville, and especially the University of Tennessee as well.
He'll boot this one away. A high booming kick, backs up Dean inside the 20. Dean is able to finally break a tackle, tries to get around another, but Scott's good pursuit by the punt team as they'll blast him at the 20. And that is where the Tornadoes will take over. So 80 yards away from pay dirt after a great kick. I thought that first kick was a little more high than it was far by Colquitt. That one, he sent for a little bit forcing Jameer Dean to kind of hit it in reverse and back up to be able to go after that football.
Yeah, and a good job from him, able to flip the field for West as they drop Alcoa back a little ways.
Well, and that's what you want from your special teams is being able to flip the field and give your defense an opportunity and also help your offense out as well. Sometimes it's just a battle of field position. Tonight, though, 14-0 Alcoa with 11:16 left to go in the second quarter. Tornadoes back on offense, looking to add some more. Condis Cherry in the backfield. He'll get the pitch. He'll take off on the left side, cut it back up the middle, find a crease. There goes Cherry. He turns on the burners. He could go to the 40, to the 30, to the 20. They're trying to catch him. They will not. In the maroon rectangle he goes. Touchdown. A Delosier auction touchdown for the Tornadoes.
Excellent, excellent play for Cherry right there. We've talked before about how elusive he is. He was able to get through the middle of that, breaking it back to the right after trying to go around to the left, gets up the middle, and he is gone.
Cherry on this carry, and man, Scott, was that scary for the defense as Condis gets down the field, picks up a huge touchdown for Alcoa, and they now go up 3 scores. So Kyron Tyson getting ready for the extra point. And good. 10:58 left to go in the second quarter. 21-0, Tornadoes. Hey, Devin, Paige said she thinks that her mic is working now level-wise. Are you able to hear her now if she says anything?
Instead of hitting the quarterback by laying the shoulder, like run through him and wrap him up and take him to the ground because we're going to get a flag on that next. But I don't think they're going to call it. Hey, Nick, we got to hit the full plate.
We welcome you back into the David's Abbey Carpet Game of the Week as it is 21-0 Alcoa with 10:58 left to go in the second quarter. The Tornadoes quickly moved it down the field, and it was Condis Cherry turning on the burners and getting all the way down the field. That was an 80-yard touchdown for Cherry as Manu a few times tonight, Scott has looked to fake a pitch and then take it himself. That time, no fake. Gets it to Condis. Condis burns it down the field. Found a really good hole up the seam, and it took it to the house. And the West Rebels tried to catch him, but they could not. As Cherry, when he gets going, Scott, he is fast. And what a playmaker for this Alcoa offense. We had just got done talking a little bit earlier about all the horses in the stable for Alcoa. That's one of the great ones that they're lucky to have on this offense.
Yeah, and he has really improved from last year. One of the things we talked a lot about last year was his speed and his elusiveness, but it was also he kept having trouble fumbling and hanging on to the football. This year, I don't know that I've seen him fumble at all. He has done a great job there and continues to display that speed that he has.
So the Tornadoes will come off to kick this one away. So far tonight, Tyson has boomed his kicks into the end zone for touchbacks. And so the West Rebels back to receive. But more than likely, Scott, it'll just be another one that'll end up in the end zone. This West Rebel team trying to find something on offense. The running backs have done a decent job so far tonight, but that so far seemed to be the only thing that's working for them. And there's another deep kick, and it is indeed a touchback.
Yeah, and Tyson looks like he's just making those with ease nowadays.
Yeah, very comfortable with those kicks. Got a booming leg. We saw that last year on some big-time plays from Tyson, one of those being the walk-off field goal against Bearden High School. What a memory for us. Was a really special moment for him and for the Tornadoes. Just continue to propel them forward throughout another magical season for Alcoa as they got their 10th championship in a row, 23rd in program history. On offense goes the Rebels. They'll send a man in motion. They'll get the snap. They'll hand off on the jet sweep. That's to Messiah Wren. And Messiah Wren, as he goes around the right tackle and forward, will pick up a gain of around 3. It'll be second down.
Yeah, as we talked about, Heath Wren and Lee being the workhorses so far for the Rebels.
Hey, you got trips here. Trips. Hey, you're in trips. Look for 22 here.
So West lining up in trips right now as it's 2nd and 6.
And Scott, the quarterback, decides to take it himself, and he'll gain 2 on the carry. It'll bring up 3rd down. The Tornadoes saw him start to go and raced to the gap quickly to bring him down.
Yeah, Harrison didn't see anything available down the field. Thought he might be able to catch Alcoa trying to overrush and get past him, but Alcoa able to get those long arms out there and pull him down.
3rd and 3 for West. 2 receivers to the left. 1 receiver to the right, running back in the backfield in the pistol. Try to get the Tornadoes to jump. They do not. And so now the quarterback will get the play call from the sidelines. Harrison gets the call. He comes up to his line, yells things out, gets them an adjustment. Tornadoes make a move as well. As they hand the football off, Tornadoes right there waiting on him in the backfield. But before the tackle can be made, the whistle was blown. And it looks like that is a timeout from the Rebels of West High School. And you have to imagine, Scott, big timeout here for West, down 3 scores, in a position on the field where obviously if you don't get it, you're going to have to punt it away. But Alcoa's been scoring at will. You really need to figure things out here and get a first down.
Yeah, we were talking about the way they were trying to hang in there, but Alcoa, again, defense getting adjusted to what they're doing, able to stop them and keep them from getting sustained drives going. Looked like they had snapped the ball, would have still had a second, but the West coach not sure, but didn't want to get a penalty, calls timeout quickly.
So we'll see what adjustments the Rebels make as it is 3rd and 3 for West. Scott, one of the things I wanted to take a peek at, and we'll see if Coulter's got it up here, is the penalties so far tonight. Is we've seen a few of those. Only 1 for West. I think Alcoa's got at least 2. Yeah, 2 for 20. Got to clean those up, but still like the score and where you're sitting, 21-0. Like to add a few more before the end of the second quarter. 9:38 left to go in the second. 21-0 Alcoa. All right, back from the timeout. We'll see what adjustments and play calls the Rebels make. I'd still be prepared if I was Alcoa, just not to jump again. They'll hand the football off. Bouncing outside is Lee. Alcoa waiting for him. It was man Henry, the first on the spot, and he holds him up. The rest of the defense brings him down. It'll be 4th and 2 for the Rebels.
Yeah, well, it doesn't look like he got much of anything on that. So Colquitt coming back out to punt for West. So far, he's been their best weapon.
Fourth and 2 for Alcoa, or for West, excuse me. They will punt it away. And a high punt, not as booming as the last one was, but a high one that the Tornadoes will move away from. It'll take a friendly Tornado bounce and bounce back to the 45, where the Rebels will down it. And Alcoa Tornadoes will come out on offense with 8:47 left to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, the last time Alcoa was put on the 20-yard line, which was the worst field position they had to start with so far in this game, now at their own 45. We'll see who they've got in the backfield with Manu. Trying to look, just can't see the number from here right now. So Manu hands off, fakes it, looks downfield. He's got one down there. Oh, and a good deflection from the West defense. is able to push that ball away. Trying to get a number on the receiver, just couldn't see it.
Scott, that was intended for Jameer Dean, but it was Ethan Fortner who got a hand up and broke that one up, was trying to draw back and get the interception, but he ran right into Dean as he was trying to tip it into his hands. Incomplete, luckily for Alcoa, as that one may have gone the other way and ended up being the West Rebels football.
Yeah, I was trying to check and make sure because I couldn't tell if it was Cooper or Dean on that play.
Pitch outside to DeBose. DeBose tries to cut back, might have had some space, but just kind of got tripped up on his feet, Scott, as he tried to shuffle back to the right side. He will fall. It'll bring up 3rd and 9.
Yeah, I'm very frustrated with himself too because he knew that he had some open space if he was able to keep his feet underneath him. Unfortunately, they didn't, and the turf just trips him up. So it looks like 3rd down and 9 now as DeBose still in the backfield with Manu. Alcoa looking to the sideline for the play. 8 minutes left here in the second quarter.
Mono gets the snap. He'll roll out to the right side. Look down the field. Throws. Got a man. Oh, almost picked off again by the safety who jumped the route. And that one bounces over to the Tornado sidelines. It'll bring up 4th down. And Scott, it looks like Alcoa will punt for the first time tonight.
Yeah, good play from the defense. Able to get in there and deflect 2 of those balls. Almost intercepted both of them. Manu lucky on those, but it does cause a 4th down and 9 for the Tornadoes as Manu drops back to punt.
If you're West, one thing you've always got to look out for if you're facing this Alcoa team on the punt team is they do like to have their quarterback punt the football, and gives them the option if they want to pass, if they see something down the field, they can. Now, the one thing, if you're Manu, you've got to continue to build upon is just making sure if you don't see anything, you get it away a little bit quicker, as that was an Achilles heel in game 1 that ended up being a blocked punt. Luckily, did not hurt the Tornadoes in the form of a loss. They were able to overcome it, but still got to be careful. A great punt from Manu there. That one is down at the 17-yard line, and that is where the West Rebels will take over on offense. So, Scott, have to be pleased if you're West. Your defense stands tall, able to break some things up finally and stop a drive. So far tonight, every time Alcoa's gotten the ball, they've scored. But the Rebels able to sniff that one out, not allow them to do it on that drive. They give their offense back the ball, only down 3 scores. Still plenty of time here in the second quarter to try to get a touchdown or 2 on the board.
Right, Heath. But Alcoa, like you said, just able to drive. In that Bearden game, Alcoa just was scoring with ease. West definitely playing a lot tougher this game.
Rolling to the outside, turns, completes the pass, and tackled near the sticks. And I think he got a first down. They'll say he did.
Looks like it, yes.
So a first down for West, and only the second completion today by Jack Harrison. 1st and 10, and Scott, we've got a penalty. Looks like a false start on the Rebels. It'll make it 1st and 15.
Yeah, not something you want to see. You want to see your team going forward, not backwards.
So the Rebels move in the wrong direction, and so again, Scott, the one thing you got to eliminate when you're playing a team like Alcoa, just like a team like Maryville we talk about all the time, is you've got to be mistake-free, because when they give you an opportunity, you've got to capitalize on it. And so after stopping them on offense to get the ball back, you've got to eliminate the mistakes if you're going to have that chance here. As they run the football up the middle, great run by Lee. He gets past the original line of scrimmage and then some. Had 2 Tornado defenders on him. He was trying to split them and just continued to keep those feet churning. It'll now be 2nd and 7.
Yeah, Lee's been able to get right through that defense, especially the line, and getting into the linebackers.
2nd and 7, 7:07 left to go in the second quarter. 21-0 Alcoa. Pistol formation, 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. They'll send one from the left in motion, creating trips on the right side. Quarterback will roll that way, and Blair Goodson, Scott, you can put the quarterback in a bag. He's sacked as Goodson wraps him up and slams him down to the turf.
Yeah, Goodson get those hands out on him, get those big bear claws on him, basically, and just start spinning him around. But it looks like we have an player on the field. I'm trying to see if that's West or Alcoa.
No, that is the Tornado down, writhing in pain, as even Coach Nick's hurrying onto the field to come and check on his player. And we're not going to speculate right now, as we'll just see as they check on him, make sure he's okay. But Peggy Bratt down there, Johnny on the spot. Looks like some of the West trainers as well trying to come over and assist and make sure that young man is all right. So an injury timeout on the field. Let's take a Bill Cox Furniture timeout with him. We'll be back in a moment on 94.3 Jack FM. Welcome back into the David's Abbey Carpet Game of the Week. Moments ago, as we were coming back from break, quarterback rolled out on third down. Threw that, a little bit of a rainbow that fell in front of the receiver's feet for an incompletion. Now punting away, Jameer Dean will move out of the way of the football. That'll take a West Rebel roll all the way inside the 25 and down near the 24. So that is where the Tornadoes will take over on offense. Now, when we went to break, let's take a moment for an injury timeout. It was Janarius Henry, Man Henry, as we like to call him, who went out, Scott. We'll see later on if Paige is able to assess or see anything on the sidelines that gives us any indication of what happened and how he's doing. So we will go to her here in a few minutes. But right now, the Tornadoes back on offense. It is 1st and 10. Ball on the 24. Yeah, 6:21 left to go in the second quarter. 21-0, Alcoa.
Yeah, 55-yard punt from Colquitt here. Pins Alcoa back a little bit.
Fake pitch. Manu, keeper up the middle. Nothing doing. I think they're going to give him one. It'll be 2nd and 9. But, Scott, they're really staying disciplined right now, this defense in their lanes, looking to make some plays. And we've got another player slow to get up. They've got the one for the Tornadoes. There's 2 for the Rebels that are taking the time, and there's 1 that's still down. So, Scott, as they attend to that player, let's go ahead and check in with Paige as she was down there taking a look or getting a field view of the plays for Alcoa. Saw Man Henry go down. And Paige, want to come to you now and just see, were you able to get a better picture of what happened and how he's doing?
Yeah, didn't have a good look at how he got injured out on the field, guys. A lot of traffic to look forward to as I was on the far side getting ready for maybe a long drive to ensue. But instead, here I am on the sideline, and we see Henry kind of walking around, favoring one side of his leg a little bit more than the other side, but trying to hobble around a little bit. Currently talking to a couple of the coaches, and Brian Nix is now coming over to him, maybe looking at a couple of plays. I would imagine maybe he comes back out into the game just slightly hobbling a little bit, but certainly trying to kind of work through that as he's walking up and down the sideline over here.
All right, thanks, Paige. We appreciate that. And, Scott, one of those things you probably want to be careful about here if you're Alcoa, and you know that they will, is if he can go, trying to get him back on the field. But if you're able to continue to add some points here on the scoreboard, if he is less than 100%, getting him an opportunity just to rest, as you want to continue to have him back soon later in the season when you need him. But hopefully, Man Henry is okay, and we'll see if he makes his way back into this ball game. So appreciate that, Paige. Alcoa back to it. It's 2nd and 9. Shotgun formation. Condas Cherry to his left. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Turns, hands it off to Cherry, and a fake pass by Manu trying to get the defense looking. Cherry goes around the left, cuts it up the sidelines, and taken out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, and Hayton, during that little break we just had, J.P. Pierce again for West was the injured player. Obviously giving it his all as he's come off the field twice with injuries. And he is a junior inside linebacker for the Rebels.
So we'll see if he makes his way back into the ball game as well. A few injuries so far tonight. 3rd down for Alcoa, empty backfield, trying to get West to jump. They do not. Trips to the left for Alcoa. 2 receivers to the right. Because the Rebels did not jump, Manu takes a minute, looks over to the sideline, gets the play call. He'll look forward, survey the defense, get the snap. He'll turn, look to throw, nothing doing. There he goes. Manu breaks one, spins off another. As they tackle him, they'll continue to propel him forward, and that momentum will take him down at the 45. It'll be a Maryville top shot tornado 1st down.
Yeah, good use driving those legs, and then the Rebels just trying to grab him, just kept running with him. Actually assisted him probably on about 5 of those yards.
Yeah, they did. It almost looked like they were carrying him forward. 1st down, 4:40 left to go in the 2nd quarter, 21-0 Alcoa. Tornadoes looking to add on to that as they're 55 yards away from the end zone. Fake handoff, up the middle they go. Slant route caught, Jameer Dean. Jameer Dean almost looked like he slipped there around a defender, fell to the turf at the 35, and another Maryville top shot, tornado, 1st down.
Yeah, it looked like Silas Monroe was the initial defender, was able to get his hands down just enough to trip him up and cause him to go down.
1st and 10 for Alcoa. Cherry still in the backfield, and it'll be Cherry on the carry. Ahead goes Cherry. Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. West will rotate some players in, look to bring in some size on the defensive line. That is number 71, Dale Campbell, coming onto the field for West.
Yeah, and right now, a good night for Cherry as well. 3 carries for 90 yards and a touchdown.
Empty backfield, turns, looks, completes the pass. That one is complete to Jamirius Abuhanya for a tornado 1st down. So 1st down for Alcoa, ball at the 25, 3:45 and counting, 21-0 Alcoa. As Alcoa rotates some players in, Abuhanya will make his way to the sidelines. And for the Tornadoes, they'll bring in number 10, Haynes Hawkins, the sophomore wide receiver, 6 foot, 175 pounds. Hawkins, one of the transfers from Bearden High School, played both sides of the football so far this season, has done well. Another young, talented player. It's going to be fun to watch develop over the next few years for Alcoa. There's the snap. Manu will roll to his right. Micah Jones helping block and give protection. Throws it into the end zone. Is there going to be a catch? Oh, trying to jump over the defensive back to make that catch was Jacoby Cooper. Scott, I thought he almost was trying to see if he could kind of jump back into the defender and over his head to see if maybe he could get a PI call. They don't call it. And so therefore that ball will be incomplete. And it'll be 2nd down for Alcoa.
Yeah, just a little short, I think, if he had a little bit more and was able to, like he had been in some of the previous games, just laying it up in there. But West safeties and corners both having some really good nights right now defending Alcoa.
They'll turn, they hand the football off. There goes Micah Jones. Makes one man miss, tries to break another tackle as he falls down around the 10 for another Maryville Top Shot Tornado 1st down. And Scott, Alcoa has now entered the Clean Roofs Tornado Maroon Zone. Under 3 minutes we go here in the 2nd quarter. Jones still in the backfield with Manu. Snap, handoff, there he goes, bouncing around like a ping pong.
No, they're going to say down at about the 1.
And just inches away from Pater as the clock continues to tick. 2.5 minutes now left to go in the 2nd quarter. And Scott, I'd look for them to continue to pound the rock and give it to him again. There's the handoff, and into the end zone he goes. A Delosier auction touchdown for the Tornado.
And he comes out limping as well, Heath.
Yeah, looked to kind of take a shot in the leg as he was almost kind of walking into the end zone, but someone's still trying to go after him and caught a piece coming around the side of his right leg as he hobbles over to the sidelines. But look to see if he's okay. It didn't look like a severe injury on the play. Just may have took a helmet to the leg. 2:20 left to go. Kyron Tyson now awaiting the snap and the extra point. There's the snap, there's the kick, and it is good. 2:20 left to go in the second quarter, 28-0. Tornadoes on top. You're listening to the David Zabby Carpet Game of the Week on 94.3 Jack FM. We'll be back in a moment. We welcome you back into the David Zabby Carpet Game of the Week. 28-0. Alcoa as Micah Jones scored his second touchdown of the night. This one's is returnable, caught at the 1, and there goes the West return team, breaking the first layer of the defense, trying to break the second, and down around the 30-yard line goes West Rebels. As Scott, that one was returned by the junior, Will Schrabel.
Yeah, and he was excited about that one too, because that's the first one he's got a chance to get, but good speed as well for the young man as he gets the ball down to the 30-yard line.
So a good return by Schrabel. That'll put the ball at the 30 with 2:11 left to go in the ball game. There is a penalty flag on the play.
Well, let's see where they're at. They back them up, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And I believe that one is going to be on West. So I don't know if maybe that was a block in the back on the return.
So, like, that's probably one of their better run plays. They're not.
No, they're going to call a personal foul on the Rebels.
Yeah, and instead of just a 10-yard block in the back, it's going to be 15 yards.
How frustrating for that returner, Scott, after such a great return, and then a penalty moves him in the wrong direction. From my playing days, I certainly know what that feels like.
Well, and basically half the yardage you gained was just negated by that penalty.
Nothing like having a big-time play for yourself and then finding out that behind you there was some action going on that will move you backwards. 1st and 10. They'll hand the football off. Alcoa waiting for him defensively. Really just kind of pushed the lineman back. Scotty runs into his offensive line, trying to find some sort of crease, and Alcoa just continuing to surge backwards and then swarming around him to give him nowhere to go. We'll see if they move that one backwards or if they'll just say he got back to the original line of scrimmage. Looks like they're going to say it'll be 2nd and 10, so no gain on the play, no loss either. A minute 40 and counting on the clock here in the second quarter.
Yeah, Scott, looks like they're just going to try to run this down as well as they can.
Well, Alcoa's got 2 timeouts, so if you stop him here on 2nd, do you maybe look now to try to take a timeout and see if you can get the ball back to your offense? And that is exactly what they're going to do, Scott. They hand the football off up the middle, gain a couple, and the Tornadoes now will take a timeout.
3rd and 8. 3rd and 8 looks like.
Yeah, going to make it about 3rd down and 8 for the Rebels now with 1:16 left in the first half.
Minute 16 left to go. 3rd and 8. With the timeout on the field, a Bill Cox Furniture timeout. West now will have to decide what they're going to do here. Scott, do you run the ball again and force Alcoa to take their final timeout? Or do you look to see if you can try to pass it and pick up that 1st down? Because it did look like after those first 2 plays, they were just content with taking it to half. So what do you do now that Alcoa's called the timeout?
Right now at this point, you probably make Alcoa go ahead and use their timeout. Because like you said, if you pass it and it's incomplete, that's like giving Alcoa an extra one anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you. See if you can make Alcoa use their final timeout and at least, if anything, make it a little bit more difficult on that offense moving the football down the field. Now, the good news is if they can get it in range, they've got a really good kicker in Kyron Tyson and still would happily take 3 points, as that should put them in mercy rule. Right now, just a couple points away from that and getting that continuous clock here in the second half. So both teams back on the football field, waiting for the ref signal and the okay to be able to continue on. We've seen some delays in this game. That is because it is a televised game. So there has been some TV commercials we've had to kind of pause and wait for throughout the game. That's caused this game to slow down just a touch. Minute 19 left to go. And Scott, before a play can even happen, there's another penalty. And I would looks like they're going to call it an Alcoa. Maybe an offsides? So an offsides penalty on the Tornadoes. A free 5. And so, Scott, how about now? Third down, third and around 3. So maybe change your play call. You still running it?
It almost looks like power.
I'd run it at this point.
Quarterback will roll out. He'll look to throw. He'll throw. It's got a man near the sidelines. Caught. That's a first down.
Well, you didn't ask my opinion anyway.
No, they didn't. Taken down at the 35. And so now it doesn't matter. Alcoa only one timeout left. And for your West, you're trying to use the rest of the clock to get your team down the field and try to get some points.
But now for West, do you start using your timeouts if you get closer?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to abandon the run here, but they won't.
No,
and man,
he falls.
Yeah, hand the ball off, and Cade Stinnett was right there waiting to take his head off. And so, Scott, he just kind of tried to go underneath and do the limbo and then hit the turf.
Yeah, I was kind of trying to see on that one. I didn't get a good look at it, whether or not the quarterback just held on to the ball a little harder, and he kind of pulled the running back basically backwards, causing him to slide.
Under a minute to go. Second and long for the Rebels. And Alcoa jumps.
Coach, get him out.
And Scott, it looks like that was number 76 for Alcoa, who got just a little bit excited there and jumped off sides. Looked like he looked over at the sidelines and thought he was far enough back that that jump was acceptable. But Scott, he's learning quickly that it was not, as he went over to the sidelines, and Coach Nix gave him a little bit of a piece of his mind of some advice moving forward.
About not moving forward.
Ever again. 2nd and 9. 37.6 seconds to go here in the second quarter. We'll see what West calls. Will they try to run the ball? No, they'll look to pass. They throw it to the outside. Pass broken up. Looked like for a moment there, Stinnett might have been able to try to make an interception, as that ball kind of hung up there for a minute, bouncing around in between the two of them.
Yeah, but good focus as he was able to grab the offensive player and pull him back once that receiver got hold of the ball.
Also, Scott, stops the clock.
Yep.
Alcoa has one timeout, and it's third down. I have a feeling Alcoa is still going to be content trying to call a timeout here and still giving their offense a chance.
You look for West to run that play they did on the last third down, though.
Also noticed here, Scott, on that play as Alcoa was moving into motion. Main man Henry back in the game on defense. That's great to see. There's the run, and they're going to give him a first down. Yeah, man. Good run by Messiah Wren. That's a first down for West. Clock will start to roll, and now West will take a timeout. So Bill Cox Furniture timeout by West. And again, Scott, another close opportunity for Alcoa to try to see if they could get it back, maybe try to take a shot or two and see if they could get some more points on the board. But a good play call yet again by this West Rebel offense. There's been some flashes by this offense tonight that have certainly given you some things to look forward to as this young team continues to develop. They just haven't been able to consistently piece it together.
Right, Alcoa's keeping it from letting them be consistent, but they're still able to get a few plays here and there, just trying to get something on this. Last drive was about 23 seconds left. Not sure what kind of kicking game they have in the field goal unit whether or not they just want to get up there and get some points on the board.
Yeah, if I'm West at this point, Scott, they called the timeout. I think they're trying to see if they can move this ball down the field and at the very least get it in that field goal range and get those points and just make it a little bit tougher for Alcoa to put this thing in mercy rule and get the clock rolling and try to fight back. And the thing is, too, Scott, you get some points here before the half. You give your team something to really kind of rev their engines and kind of get some momentum on their side at the break.
Yeah, exactly. As they still have – oh, he dropped it, I think. Okay, referee called that incomplete. But you look at West as their schedule coming up, doable games with Campbell County and Halls, Clinton as well. A tough one. William Blunt's got so far looked to be a really good team this year. Mm-hmm. And then they finish with Carnes and Powell, an opportunity there to go 1-1 as well.
Yeah, William Blunt having a great start to their season. Had a pretty good season last year as well, and trying to match that and see if they can continue to build upon it. And they really like this senior-laden team for the Governors. Stepping up into the pocket, now looking to run is Harrison, and he gets met by Darius Sutterth, who just drives him backwards, but not before picking up a few. But Scott, now if you're West, you call a timeout, 10.2 seconds left to go. Try to see if you can take one last shot or two close to the end zone, or at least to the red zone, and try to take a field goal. Right now, way too far back, sitting at the 49. But, two options here, Scott. You try to see if you can do one or two quick hitters out of bounds, get yourself a little bit more in field goal range, depending on how good your kicker is. If you're way too far away from that, then you use that 10.2 to take one or two shots into the end zone.
That's about all you really can do. Mm-hmm. Good play from Abahania a second ago, getting assisted by Cade Stennett as well. But, Alcoa, if they keep him on the field here anywhere, I don't really see, unless they're not going to have much time to do anything else. Mm-hmm. If they end up in the middle of the field, they have no timeouts. How quick can you get up and get to the line and spike the ball before the clock runs out? Otherwise, you're going to have to take a shot for at least the end zone. You'll get a stoppage if you get a first down, but it's going to be quick. You got to get to the line fast.
Yeah, I feel like at this level, that's really, really hard to do. I think you've got to, like you said, either take a shot or see if maybe you can try to do some kind of misdirection and then find a guy that can maybe get out of bounds down the field before that clock expires. So here we go. Back on the field they'll go. The quarterback will roll out to the right. Here comes the pressure. He'll look to throw. And Scott, he's just going to throw it away out of bounds and live to see another play.
Yeah, and where he ran out of bounds, it wouldn't have really made much difference because he ran out at the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. So throwing it away or running out of bounds, either one would not have done much for him anyway.
So it looks like they'll look to now maybe punt it away. Are they going to try a field goal here? They've got Cannon Dowd on the field. Scott, Alcoa does have one timeout left if they want to make any adjustments.
Well, Dowd is a backup quarterback.
Yeah,
so
it looks like
maybe
just using him to try to cannon one into the end zone. Maybe got a little bit stronger arm. Here's he throws it across the seam and blasted. Ball's loose.
Fumbles.
He'll pick it back up. And Alcoa right there, the ball's loose again.
Either way, it doesn't matter. Alcoa is able to stop him.
Yeah, you saw the ball squirt out one more time, and Alcoa tried to pick it up and take off. Refs, looks like they blew the whistle and said the play was dead. They also threw a penalty flag on the play. So before we take it to break, we'll see what the penalty is.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell the goal if whether or not they felt like the West player, as he was going down, tried to pitch the ball forward to cause a fumble. Which, thanks to the Oakland Raiders, that got fixed.
So refs still assessing, talking things over. So they will wave the flag. No flag on the play, and that will do it for the first half action. 28-0, Tornadoes in the David Zabby Carpet Game of the Week at the half. we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll bring on the Stevenson Tire halftime show as Scott, Coulter, and Trevor will come on as well. We'll take a look down on the field to see if Paige Dower is able to catch up with Coach Knox. I believe she's waiting to see if she can get a chance to speak with him. So we'll continue to keep an eye down the field, as it looks like before we go to break, we will try to see if we can get that interview with Coach, get his assessment of the first half so far. It's been a pretty good game for Alcoa, but certainly a lot of credit goes towards Wes and how they've played so far tonight, as Coach Knox making his way over to Paige now.
Coach Brian Knox. Micah Jones, what a power running back you guys have out of him. A couple of touchdowns tonight. How important is it to have a guy like him?
Yeah, he just does a lot for us. You know, he's kind of our quarterback on defense, the type of defense that we run. He's the middle field safety, so he does a ton for us. So he's a pivotal piece, but when we need him, hard yards, closing out games, he's the guy that does a whole lot for our team. You just saw that last hit that we ended with. You know, he's a physical, intense football player, and he's gotten better every year. You know, he's probably started 40-something games since he's been in high school, so it seems like he's been here forever.
A little bit. How much do you appreciate how your defense tightened up in that final drive?
Yeah, I think we played well. I think, you know, they've got some good athletes. They cause you problems with the run game. I think we've executed well. We've tackled well. I think that was my challenge to them. Tackle well. We're going to miss a few tackles, pursue the football. So I think our pursuit's been good. Our coverage is, you know, we've been physical tonight, which I think every week we want to increase our intensity, increase our physicality. So I was really happy with that tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
Great, thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Paige. So you hear it there, Scott. Really pleased with what he's seen from his defense so far. And, you know, one of the things I love is, you know, Coach Knox, number one, always praising what he's seen on the field from his guys, but also talking about, hey, there's always opportunity to get better. There's some things here and there we got to clean up, but really pleased with what he's seen so far from his defense, and you can't blame him. Right now, holding West to a goose egg as it's 28-0. They've been very impressive, and the offense has certainly been very complimentary as well, putting up 4 touchdowns.
Right, Heath. And as Coach Knox mentioned, you know, they've got some playmakers, so you're not going to stop a team every play. So they're going to be able to get some yards. It's what you're able to do between the 20s. Can you keep them from getting into the red zone and getting points up on the board, which right now that's what Alcoa is doing.
Well, Scott, right now what we're doing is taking a Stevenson Tire halftime show timeout, and we will come back here in a moment. And when we come back from the break, it'll be Coulter, Tao, and myself talking about the stats, and then we'll bring Trevor and Scott back on to give us some scoreboard updates from around the area. You're listening to the David's Abbey Carbon Game of the Week on 94.3 Jack FM. Holding down the stats for us so far tonight. Talk about the stats, give us a breakdown of those, and then let's talk about what you see.
2 yards and a touchdown. Condis Cherry having an amazing day with 3 rush attempts for 90 yards and a touchdown. And Jacoby Cooper with 3 receptions for 24 yards. On the west side of the ball, 97 total yards of offense, 43 of that through the air and 54 of that on the ground. Quarterback Jack Harrison, 3 completions on 9 attempts and 30 yards. Messiah Wren, 5 rush attempts for 20 yards and 1 catch that went 11 yards. Abel Anslet with 2 receptions for 19 yards, and the running back Raheem Lee with 14 rush attempts for 45 yards and 1 reception for 13 yards.
So Coulter, really looking at the performance on both sides of the ball for these two teams. You know, West had some bright spots. I thought this young quarterback, Jack Harrison, had a couple of nice throws as the game progressed, got a little bit better as the game moved forward. Running game, you know, you saw Raheem Lee. He's had a good night for them, really kind of been the bell cow for the Rebels tonight. But on the Tornado side of things, I know Abu Hanya has really been trying to get himself a Player of the Week plaque, but right now, man, I kind of think the front runner is Micah Jones.
Yeah, I agree, Heath. 2 touchdowns. I think Condis Cherry might be a name that you throw in there as well. Of course, he had the 80-yard carry, but I want to talk a little bit about the Tornado defense. I talked a little bit in my pregame about how the West Rebels really like to run the ball a lot, and we've seen that today. 24 out of 34 of their offensive snaps have been on the ground, and only 2.3 average yards per carry. So the Alcoa Tornadoes doing a great job at limiting them on the ground.
Yeah, they really have, and it's been one of the things that's kind of been a staple of this defense this season. The most yards they've given up in a game was to Gibbs, and you know, I'll just say not to take anything away from Gibbs, but there were second and third string players in when most of the yardage on the ground came from them. Alcoa's run defense has been pretty successful so far this year. I would say when it comes to the starters, this has been the most successful running game we faced so far this year in the West Rebels, but they've done well with him. Now you're looking at halftime, Coulter. If you're West, you're down 4 scores. You've had a couple of times where you thought you've started to get a few things going. You just really haven't been able to string it all together. What do you think the message at half is if you're their coach and trying to still keep your guys focused, locked in, and knowing that there's still 2 more quarters of football left?
I mean, yeah, if I'm the coach, keep your head up, you know. Yes, you're down 28-0, but this game can still be in your hands. We need to limit them on the ground. And the first quarter, I feel like they did a really good job at that. I don't know how many yards exactly the Tornadoes had at the first quarter, but in the second quarter, they really let the rushing game get away from them. Of course, we saw the Condis Cherry 80-yard carry. But also, we need to limit Thomas Manu more, as he's 9 of 12 for 115 yards. So we need to work on the defense. On the offensive side of the ball, I think they've had a lot of mistakes. Jack Harrison with 5 rush attempts, a negative 11 yards. He had a dropped ball, and he got sacked. So we need to clean up on these mistakes and just have a positive mindset going into the second half.
Yeah, I completely agree. Just trying to shift the focus mentally, prepare your guys for second half action, and really just trying to remind them, hey, we've still got 2 quarters of football left. We've got plenty of time to make a comeback here. This is not an unwinnable game. You're only down 4 touchdowns. We've seen some plays on offense that tells us, hey, we can hang if we can just string some more together. And so we'll see how they make their adjustments on the other side of the ball, Coulter. You look at Alcoa, and they've got some adjustments too that they can make as well. But they've had a really good game so far, and we can't wait to see what they do in the second half. Appreciate you taking the time on the headset with us right now. We're going to take a break here on the Stevenson Tire Halftime Show, and when we come back, Trevor Dunkel on the headset with us to give us some score, to talk a little scoreboard with us. We don't probably have a lot tonight, scoreboard update-wise, just because we are playing on a Thursday. But Trevor can talk a little bit more with Scott about some of the games tomorrow as well that we have to look forward to. You're listening to the David Zabby Carpet Game of the Week on 94.3 Jack FM. We'll be back soon.
Dunkles with your sports coverage. Now trust Trevor Dunkle at John Lake State Farm for your insurance needs. From auto to home to life, we've got you covered. Ask for John or Trevor at 423-894-5568 or reach out to Team Hype Sports for more information. So let's go ahead now for the Trevor Tornado to give you a question of the week. Tonight marks the 8th round of face-off in a football game. This matchup is victory. Who was the President of the United States the first time they met Alcoa? Can you guess when the last time Heritage started a season 2-0?
2009.
You're close. So, no, back to my junior year in 2010. They did also do it in 2009, but they did it again in 2010. Again, that was my junior year. Heath also did it twice in his 4 years there, but they haven't done it since. Hopefully, this is the start of something fresh. Or start of something new, as Friday they host region opponent Anderson County. Heritage has been led by quarterback Madden McNeil. He's thrown for over 400 yards and 4 total touchdowns to start off the season in their first 2 wins. Anderson County tends to have a team you have to look out for, but maybe a little biased. I think Heritage may win this. It's gonna be a close game, but I think Heritage could start off the season 3-0.
Yeah, Trevor, this is something Heath and I had talked about just on the last broadcast as well, about the fact that this will be a good barometer for us to see not only Heritage, but to see Anderson County as well, to kind of get an idea of what both teams look like.
Oh, yeah, they'll definitely be paying attention to that game. Moving on to another region matchup that's going to happen tomorrow night. Carter bounced back last week from their loss against Grace Christian. They defeated Union County 63-26, which is the most points Union County has scored since their last win 8 games ago. So they're on a 7-game losing streak. Tomorrow, Carter travels to South Knoxville to take on South Doyle Cherokees. South Doyle bouncing back from a loss to the Mountaineers. They look to get revenge. Both teams have scored a lot of points this year, but if you give up 26 points to Union County, I start to question your defense. So, again, I think this game could be close, but I think South Doyle could come away with the win here.
It's going to be a good game. I'll go with Carter on that one.
Okay. And then you also, again, finishing out some of the other region games. It's not region matchups, just teams in our region. Gibbs traveling to Morristown East, and then Fulton also traveling to Gatlinburg-Pittman. That could I was going to say that could be a good game, but we know that's not. Gatlinburg-Pittman leading their region, happy to be away from Alcoa. They're 3-0, and Fulton starting the season 0-3. Oh, and to wrap it up in the region as well, Union County hosting Cumberland Gap tomorrow. Moving on to some local matchups. Maryville starting off the season 2-1, and their only loss being to Alcoa. They travel to Cleveland tomorrow night. Cleveland has yet to get a win, and they're probably not going to again tomorrow.
Struggling team this year for Cleveland. They have had the last few years a pretty good team, someone that at least gets your attention.
Oh, no, a couple of years ago, they knocked off Maryville. It was a huge surprise to a lot of us.
That got everybody's attention.
What I think will be the game of the week tomorrow is Powell and William Blount. We have 2 undefeated teams who have been on a roll lately. William Blount has scored an average of almost 52 points in their first 3 games. Powell is known to be a powerhouse in 5A and does not look to be stopped. I think the Governors have enough to declaw the Powell Panthers in a nail-biting matchup. So I'm predicting William Blount by maybe 7-8 points or so.
It's going to be close, I think, either way. But what I'd like to, then again, we talked about this earlier in the game about the weather affecting a lot of teams in week 1. That would have been a matchup. Anderson County was to play Powell, and that game got called as well. I would have loved to have seen how that game finished.
Oh, yeah, that's always a good game when they play each other. Some other local matchups tomorrow night. Eagleton 2-1 traveling to Sullivan East, who's 0-3. Greenville traveling to Seymour. Seymour started the season 2-1 with their only loss coming to Gatlinburg-Pittman to start off the season. Greenback trying to bounce back from their loss to Midway last week as they travel to Harriman. And then Hickson hosting Loudon. Loudon getting a win last week against Kingston and a couple weeks ago defeating their crosstown rival Lenoir City. And Lenoir City hosting McMinn County tomorrow night. Some other matchups that I think could be important in the area. Farragut, who has yet to win a game this year. They're 0-3. They host Bradley Central. And then last but not least, I do want to point out the Bearden and Science Hill matchup. So Bearden starting off the season 0-2. They didn't get to play their first game against West, which I think would have been a huge indicator of this team. But their first two matchups coming to Alcoa and Maryville. You can't have a worse schedule than that. So I think they could turn it around tomorrow as they host Science Hill. That could be a more interesting game than what Bearden has had so far this season.
Well, Bearden definitely needing to turn it around. Science Hill, though, pretty consistent team in just their history tradition. They're a team that usually in the playoffs up there. Trevor, just wanted to give a quick update or a quick fix just a little bit in case anybody sends you anything saying this is actually the 18th meeting between West and Alcoa as Alcoa leads the series 14-3.
Okay, must have been a typo. I apologize.
Doesn't affect your question.
Yeah, same question either way. Any matchups you think could be pretty interesting tomorrow?
Gibbs and Morristown East, I'd really like to kind of keep an eye on that one. Again, you mentioned it earlier, the Heritage Anderson County game. Heritage looking really improved. Kind of curious to see just what they're going to look like against an Anderson County team that a little bit of struggles. They're playing well, but still seems to be just a little bit of trying to get some good chemistry in there between some new players that have joined there as well.
One thing I wanted to point out as well, I think some of the players are starting to come out and warm up, but one thing I wanted to point out too, I kind of feel bad for Fulton right now. They're playing Gatlinburg-Pittman this week, following up with Heritage and Alcoa back-to-back after that. It's looking like that Florida schedule, the Florida Gators.
Exactly, not a string you want to have right now as that's a juggernaut right there.
Okay. Especially if you've started the season 0-3, might look like 0-6 after the first 6 games.
Yeah, not something you want to see at all. But another game really interesting to see, but it comes up on Saturday as the University of Tennessee will take on the Georgia Bulldogs there at Neyland Stadium. So that's another game. You got a whole weekend right now. Thursday right now with West here in Alcoa. Then you got the Friday night games that are coming up, some great games. And then you got Saturday's game as well. But we're going to take a break here as the teams are loosening up, or at least West is. We haven't seen Alcoa come back just yet. But we're going to loosen up anyway as Trevor gave you a little bit of the Hardy's, Hardy scoreboard update here at the Stevenson Tower halftime show with David's Abbey Carpet Game of the Week. I'm Scott Dunkel alongside Trevor Dunkel. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here momentarily. All right, and welcome back to the David Savvy Carpet Game of the Week. This is Scott Dunkel here on the Stevenson Tire halftime show. fixing to be joined by Heath Knuckle here as the Alcoa is now joined out on the field as they are starting to loosen up as West has been out here for just a few minutes. As right now, pardon me again, your Alcoa Tornadoes leading the West Rebels 28-0 here at the half.
All right, Scott, as we are waiting for both teams to make their way back out onto the football field here soon and get things going for the third and fourth quarters. But it's so far been the Tornadoes dominating this game, leading 28-0. Scott, one of the things I was talking with Coulter about early in the halftime show was we were talking about really kind of the messages from both teams. You know, I feel like if you're West, you know, you've got to be looking at this in a way of telling your team, like, hey, we're still not out of this ball game, only a 4-touchdown difference, trying to motivate your team by talking about some of the things you did well, and then how do you consistently put those things together. If you're the Alcoa Tornadoes, trying to clean up a few things here and there that have kept this game, if you will, as close as it is, and then what you need to do to put this game to bed and come away with the win.
One of the things I would go with, Heath, on that is discipline. Pay a little bit more attention. Don't let West pull you across. You know how good you are at getting teams to do that. You should know how that game is played, not to get so anticipation that you want to jump out there and do that. Clean up a little silly penalties. And other than that, you're playing a pretty good game.
Yeah, you certainly are. Alcoa so far tonight, still 2 more quarters to play, and I would imagine, Scott, that we would see the starters still out here, at least in the third quarter of this game, and trying to see if they can add a few more points on the board, and then maybe in the fourth quarter potentially, if the score allows it, to be able to start moving to some of your younger guys to get an opportunity. But this game's still very much in play for both teams, and so we'll still some more time to find out if someone else makes a claim for that Player of the Week. But right now, my Print FX Player of the Week, brought to you by Farm Bureau with Kenny Jarvis, it to me is Micah Jones.
Yeah, Micah's got 2 touchdowns, but I'm going to have to give some also to Condis Cherry.
That's true. Condis Cherry with a really nice run, an 80-yard run, I believe, that springboarded him all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. So far tonight, he's got 3 carries for 90 yards and a touchdown, averaging 30 yards a carry. So Micah Jones with 2 touchdowns, Condis Cherry with 1. Condis has got the most yardage running the football, while Micah's got the most touchdowns. So we'll continue to monitor both of those, and we'll see how we are feeling later in this ball game. And also, if needed, have a tiebreaker, and we'll bring Coulter on as well to give us his thoughts and see who he thinks here in the booth we should nominate or who we should select for that Player of the Game honor. But now it's almost time for the third quarter as West back onto the field for the kickoff. The Tornadoes on the field for the return, as you've got Jameer Dean, Condis Cherry, and also looks like Jacoby Cooper back to receive. No, excuse me, that's Damari DeVos. So Damari DeVos, Condis Cherry, and Jameer Dean back to receive. In front of them, about 20 yards ahead of them, is Jacoby Cooper and a few others. There's the deep kick. This one's going to be caught at the 3 and returnable for Cherry. Cherry looking for a hole, and to the 20. Not much doing past that, as he'll get swarmed by the Rebel kickoff team and pushed backwards. And so at the 19 is where they're going to spot it for this possession of Alcoa football. Alcoa 137 rushing yards tonight. 115 through the air. And Scott, this is another thing I really wanted to talk about tonight. When you look at this Tornado football team, they've been very balanced, not on the ground and through the air. And you know, some years different than others, where the running game's really strong, where the passing game's really strong. But I feel like this balanced attack really keeps this defense off balance and making them struggle to know which thing to really focus on.
Yeah, it's hard for a defense to settle when that team you're playing is able to do just about anything they want to with the ball, whether it be running or passing. And a pass to Abahania right there for 5 yards for Alcoa makes it 2nd and 5.
And after the spot, they'll give him one more. So a 6-yard gain for Jamirius Abuhanya. 2nd and 4 now for the Tornadoes. Abuhanya with another catch tonight. I believe that's his second reception. No, that's his 4th
Yeah, he's got a
reception
touchdown
tonight
as well.
That's right. I told you. We
Yeah,
knew
he's
he was
working.
coming for the plaque. We'll see if he's able to earn it this week. 2nd down. Fake handoff. Ooh, defense coming, bringing some pressure on Manu, and Scott nowhere to go. And he's wrapped up for the sack.
Yeah, a heavy rush. They had 4 on top of him there, chasing him down. Just unable. He kept looking downfield, but not able to do anything with it. It ends up costing him about 4 yards.
So it is now 3rd and 8 for the Tornadoes. And they break the huddle. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Tight end split off to the right side. Now they'll move the running back out of the backfield to the left side, moving back now behind Manu, now going to the right side of the formation. Manu scrolls out, looks his way, now looks down the field. He'll launch it down the field. That one's a little bit short, and Jacoby Cooper still almost jumped in front of the safety and made the catch as he was spinning, but got that momentum of the football, just kind of spun with him, and then right out of his hands, incomplete.
Yeah, it would have been a great catch if he had been able to come down with it. Unfortunately not. Makes it 4th down and about 8 for the Tornadoes as they look to punt. So 10-18 left in the 3rd quarter. Alcoa on their first drive of the 2nd half, looking to punt here from about the 22-yard line.
Snap back to Manu. Manu will punt it away. High punt. Yeah, really good kick. That bounces right beside a Tornado and then rolls for a Tornado. Rolled past the 25, inside the 25, and down at the 23. And the Rebels will come back out on offense.
So about right around a 50-yard punt for Manu.
And Scott, while they're getting set up, our Trevor's Tornado Trivia question tonight, brought to you by John Lakecamp of State Farm, was tonight marks the 18th all-time meeting between Alcoa and West. This matchup dates back more than half a century. Who is the president of the United States the first time they met? When Alcoa won 45-0. We'll give you that answer here in a moment.
I know who it was. I was there.
There's the snap. There's the handoff. And nothing doing. Good defense by Alcoa. And Scott, what was the answer?
Has it already been won?
It has already been won, yeah.
All right, Truman.
It was indeed Truman. Our winner tonight, Dustin Dye. So shout out to Dustin Dye on the answer. We'll work with you and our winner from last week. Still trying to work on that to get them both their prize packs this week. We want to take care of them. A lot of cool things in that prize pack, and we can't wait to deliver it to them both. And we thank you each and every week for playing Trevor's Tornado Trivia. 2nd and 12. There's the handoff. There's some room to run past the original line of scrimmage and then some. And he'll be brought down for the 3rd down. And Scott, the running back, after getting tackled, is in some pain, and he is still on the turf. And some of the players immediately looking over to the sidelines and calling them over to come take a look at him as they know he's not getting up at the moment. Oof.
Can you tell which one that was? They've been running 2 and 22. Lee and
22's
Lynn.
walking over to the sideline, so I believe that is number 2 on the carry, who's had a really good night for West. That was Raheem Lee. Raheem Lee, 16 carries for 43 yards. He has worked very hard for those 43 yards tonight. And just a tough tackle that I believe he landed awkwardly, and they're now taking a look at him to make sure he's okay. And so as he's on the ground, a Bill Cox Furniture timeout on the field. Hard to tell exactly what was done there.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good, fun game. I mean, because neither one of them are in the same region, but you don't want to lose any of your players before region play.
Yeah, it's a great game to sharpen these teams up as they continue to propel forward and back into region play. But hobbling off the field is Lee. You have to imagine the way he's coming off the field, Scott, there's a good chance his night is over. So West will now have to look to some other playmakers to help them continue to move the football. He's been one of the key cogs for them so far tonight, but they've got some other weapons. Let's see if they can utilize them. As they make their way back onto the field, it is 3rd down.
Yeah, and Wren in the backfield now for the Rebels.
3rd and a long 6. The snap, dropping back, looking, has some room to throw in time. He'll throw it, but out of bounds. It is caught on the Tornado sidelines for an incompletion. It'll be 4th down, and punting the football away will be West here in a moment. Not in a place of the field, Scott, where you would look to go for it, as West will bring out their punting unit and look to see if Colquitt can back up the Tornadoes and help out their defense.
You're on 26-yard line. It's not really a good place to go for 4th down.
No, especially this early in the 3rd quarter. 8:54 left to go in the 3rd. 28-0 Alcoa. West did a good job stopping the Tornadoes on their first offensive drive of this quarter. Alcoa will look to get another opportunity here as a low punt snap to Colquitt, and before he can punt it away, a penalty, a false start on the Rebels. As Jameer Dean, Scott, just kind of standing around waiting for his chance to return this, and he'll now move 5 yards up.
And the way Colquitt kicks, I don't know if I'd walk 5 yards up. I may just stay back at the 40 anyway.
I don't blame you.
He's got a really good leg.
Well, and give some credit, too, to the punt team, Scott. I thought they've gotten down the field quickly as well, even with the leg he's got on him. And this one kind of short-legged it. And that one will bounce the wrong direction. If you're West, you've got to hurry and grab it, and they do. They'll be down at the 44. So Alcoa 44 yards away from pay dirt.
In good field position for Alcoa, about where they started their first drive in the first half.
Yeah, I was going to say, at this point, if you're Alcoa, even if you aren't able to punch it in, if you can get 15, 20 yards, you should be setting up Kyron Tyson for an opportunity.
Yeah, and Tyson, get him some opportunities as you can. You may really need him like we did last year against Bearden sometimes.
Damar DeBose in the backfield with Manu as they break the huddle. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right with a tight end split off to the right side. Manu gets the snap, fakes the handoff, looks down the field, steps up into the pocket, now will look to run to the 40, 35, 30.
Well, it takes a hard hit, but pops right back up and is ready for the next play.
Down at the 29 is Manu. Maryville top shot, Tornado 1st down.
So Alcoa trying to get those extra points, get that clock rolling, and get this game over with.
First and 10, 8:14 left to go in this 3rd quarter. Damar DeBose will stay in the backfield with Manu. In a pistol formation, DeBose will get the carry. DeBose taking his time, looking for a hole, cutting back and forth and moving ahead. Down at the 24, it is 2nd down. Tornadoes have now entered the Clean Roofs Tornado Maroon Zone.
And DeBoe's able to get that ball a little bit, and then they're not. He's had some foot problems earlier, slipping here and slipping there, able to get in and make a cut without sliding this time.
Back to it we go. 2 receivers to the left side. Tight end also split off to the left. They'll hand the ball off. DeBose now will cut it back up the middle. DeBose turning on the Jets, bouncing around, ping-ponging off different defenders. Ahead for another Maryville top shot. 1st down for the Tornadoes. And inside the 10 we go.
Yeah, good drive for Alcoa right now. Just basically just driving the ball down the field, running it, keeping that clock moving.
So Manu looks over to the sidelines, gets the play call from coach, tells the team, and they break the huddle. Trips to the right, single receiver to the left. DeBose will stay in the backfield with Manu. He'll drop back, look to the single receiver side, throw into the end zone. There's Jameer Dean, and there, it's so close to a touchdown in his hands. And last minute, Scott just kind of got bumped by that defender, and that ball fell out as he was exiting the end zone. So an incompletion.
Yeah, it looked like Monroe for West able to give a good hard shove and just kept him from being able to get a good handle on that football.
Yes, he was kind of juggling it and trying to lock it and secure it into place. That shove just jarred it right back loose, and Jameer Dean on the 2nd attempt unable to hold on to it. It's now 2nd down for the Tornadoes. Dean still on the left side, 2 receivers on the right. Pinson on the side of Dean. They'll turn, hand off the ball. This time to DeMar. He fumbled the ball. And Scott, the ball rolls around, and it's West who falls on it.
Yeah, DeVoe's just having a struggle a little bit tonight. Just a cut, and it looked like the defender was able to get his hand in there and knock it out of him. Just unable to get back on top of the ball as West comes up with the ball now.
Yeah, just able to punch that ball through for a fumble, and Alcoa, who was knocking on the door of the end zone, fumbles the football and gives the ball back to the Rebels of West High School. So still down 4 touchdowns is West, but they did not allow a score by the Tornadoes now on the Tornadoes' first 2 offensive drives here in the second half. The snap, the handoff, and a good hard run by the running back for the Rebels, who's now in the ball game. That was number 38 for West. That was Jamari Goins, a junior. And it's now 2nd and 1.
Yeah, so West trying to sustain a drive this time. They've shot themselves in the foot on a couple of them with some silly penalties.
Fake handoff, quarterback looking down the field. Harrison will take a shot. And Damari DeBose got the one in front of that one, getting a hand in there and knocking it incomplete.
That would have been poetic if he had been able to intercept that one to get that ball back for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. For a minute there, I thought he might be picking that one off, but is able to at least get a paw on it and bat it away. And so it's now 3rd and 1. It was almost like the Rebels were trying to catch the Tornadoes napping, making Alcoa assume it was a run with only 1 yard to go. And this time they will go to the ground, and he will power ahead, and he will pick up a first down. That was Goins again on the carry. So if you lose Lee, you need someone else to step up. You knew Messiah Wren will get some opportunities, but they found another running back, and Goins now getting some chances at the running back position and making the most of it. First down for West. The snap, the rollout, and Harrison looking to throw it near the sidelines. Wren catches it, then steps out of bounds.
A good concentration from Wren to be able to get that as he's trying to keep his feet in bounds as well.
Tiptoeing the sidelines and making the catch. Good job, hand-eye coordination there, holding on to it before he stepped out. He picked up 9. It's 2nd and 1. And a whistle was blown. Trying to see, it looks like maybe they were just trying to correct the spot on the field. Now they move out of the way and will continue to keep this party rolling. Almost got the Tornadoes to jump, but looks like West looked over and thought that they did. Looked at the referee, kind of threw his hands up. Was Harrison saying, hey, wait a minute. I'm looking for an offsides. The ref doesn't call it. Harrison looks back over to the sidelines and gets the play. I would almost look for a run, but instead they'll go to the pass, and there's another deep shot down the field. And Scott, man. They're going to say that he got a hand in there just a little bit too early, and they're going to call pass interference.
Yeah, it looked like when he ran over, he jumped into the receiver just a little soon. You got to get that head around as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good play on the ball, but yeah, just a touch early. Had he got his head around, might have given him a little bit of cause to pause before trying to break that one up. And it looked like that was Nukese Minor, the freshman who's come in on defense to get a chance. And they brought him in, Scott, I think just trying to give another one of their players a break for a moment. I think it was DuBose who came out on the field for a moment to kind of catch his breath after he had been doing a lot on the offense and defensive side of the ball. So with that penalty, a fresh set of downs for the Rebels. It'll put the ball at the 48, 52 yards away from pay dirt for the Rebels as they're still looking for their first score today. 5.5 minutes left to go in the third. 28-0 Alcoa. A handoff, and Scott, look who's back in the game. It's Lee on the carry.
Yeah, and with that carry, it looks like he's going to get about 6 yards.
And good for West, Scott. You have to be excited to see your premier running back and Lee back on the field. The way he was hobbling off the field, I didn't anticipate him back in this game.
Yeah, I was worried about the way he looked like he was, favoring the ankle as it came off.
So a 6-yard gain. It's 2nd and 4 for West. Harrison calling things out to his team. 2 receivers to the right. They'll send one of them in motion, now creating trips to the left side. He'll roll out to the left side, look down the field, taking his time, throwing it over the head of the receiver, and incomplete. That receiver blanketed by Jameer Dean as well, but too high of a throw anyways, and incomplete. Scott, one of the things I've noticed as well that West has really done a good job of tonight is they've given their quarterback some time. This offensive line has done their best to really try to give him an opportunity to make a play, and sometimes they do that by moving the pocket and rolling him out to give him more time to look down the field and try to get something going. As now they'll try to run the football. Kenny Harris and the rest of the defense standing up the running back after a gain of about 1.5. I think they'll give him 2, and it'll now be 4th down. And so, Scott, later in the 3rd quarter, 5 minutes left to go. This feels like now it's the opportunity for West to go for it.
Yeah, your time's running out at this point if you're going to try to come back. Because Alcoa's already proven before they can run a lot of clock.
4th and 2. Messiah Wren now in a running back. And it's a wildcat formation. And Scott almost fumbled by Lee, who was at the quarterback position. It kind of looked like what we saw earlier, just not as high. It kind of hit his hands, bounced up in the air, and then as he re-caught it and looked to take off, a penalty flag was thrown to blow the play dead.
Yeah, legal procedure, false start. Whatever referee called, I couldn't hear it. But either way, you go from 4th down and 2, manageable, the way your run game's going, now to 4th down and 7, and they are dropping into punt formation for the Rebels as they've decided that's a little too far to go this place in the field.
So now they'll look to punt it away again as Colquitt gets ready to punt. And Scott, thinking about how he's done tonight, what's the longest punt Colquitt's had? Has it been around 55? A little bit longer?
For the game, yes.
This one, a short kick by Colquitt. I don't know if he was just trying to keep it away from Jameer Dean or what, but not a great punt.
I think he just hit it off the wrong part of the foot. Because you saw the way it bounced when it hit. It went straight for the sideline instead of going forward. And you know right there, a little frustrating because you felt like you could get Alcoa pinned back inside, probably as good as his foot is inside the 5.
Instead, gives Alcoa a lot better field position than we thought they were going to have. It puts the ball at the 31, excuse me. And now if you're this Alcoa offense, Scott, you just want to finish the drive. As the last 2, first one you had to punt, the second one you were almost there, and then a fumble gave the ball back to West. And so with a timeout on the field, we're going to take a very quick timeout with them here on 94.3 Jack FM. Clock continues to tick. Tornadoes continue to move the ball down the field. 2 receivers to the left this time, 1 to the right. Tornadoes moving from right to left on your radio dial, and it'll be a handoff to Cherry again. Cherry on the carry and a Maryville top shot. Tornado first down before he's brought down to the turf. That'll put the ball at the 15. Tornadoes in the Tornado maroon zone, trying to pick up another TD. As the clock continues to tick, we're now under a minute and a half to go in the third. Manu turns around, talks things over with Cherry as a tight trips bunch formation on the left side of the line. Single receiver to the right. That's Jameer Dean off to the right side. It'll be a carry to the trips bunch side, leading some blockers, and there goes Manu. Had me a little worried for the moment. Scott is on the other side of the field. Abu Hanya was on the ground, but spins over and jumps back up, and I was like, okay, thank goodness.
Yeah, I had the same thought you did when I saw him laying on the ground.
Looks like a 3-yard gain by Manu. 2nd and 7 now for the Tornadoes. We're now under a minute to go, and Alcoa just looks to be content, kind of slowing this game down now, Scott.
Well, and just running a little bit more clock as we're under 1 minute left in the third quarter.
It is Cherry in the backfield with Manu. Single receiver to the right. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Manu will roll out, look to that side, try to throw it in the end zone's got a man coming ahead, and catching it is Jamirius Abu Hanya.
There's Jamirius trying to get that.
Trying to get it again, Scott. There he goes. As Scott, another one where there was that kind of one-on-one matchup. The defender was close a couple times. The Rebels have won that tonight, being able to bat the ball away a few times. This time, Dean kind of jumps back in towards the ball and make sure he secures it and kind of rips it away from the defender for the touchdown. So Delosier auction touchdown for Jamirius Abu Hanya, and now with 24.4 seconds to go in the third, it's Kyron Tyson looking ready to kick the extra point. There's the snap, there's the kick, up and doing. 35-0. The Tornadoes now lead, and Scott, at the moment, before we get ready for the kickoff, as we'll take an official break at the end of the third, I want to go down on the field to Paige Dower, as she's working extremely hard tonight, keeping up to date with things. So I want to go ahead and take it down on the field to Paige. Paige, as you've been watching this game from the sidelines, man, what an experience, especially the Condis Cherry experience, almost video game-like moves down there, weaving his way through this defense with that electricity. What's it like on the field level being able to watch that?
Honestly, it's been electric being able to watch Condis Cherry and this run. I heard you guys talking about earlier in the drive that he's close to 100 yards, and then after 103 yards and even more, you'd imagine he'd have closer to 200 yards the way they've utilized him here in the second half. But especially that Abu Hanya touchdown that we just saw there. I mean, I almost kind of set a block for him as he was running out of bounds to make sure he didn't go out too far and hurting myself maybe in the process. But no, very electric. You could hear Brian Nix as they were going down in this drive. He was telling them, like, let's go, let's finish this drive. Let's finish this drive. As you guys have mentioned a couple of times, that they weren't able to score in the first couple of possessions. So for them to come down here and respond the way they did, Brian Nix is happy.
Yeah, had to finally get one in the end zone here in the second half, and you see it do it there, as now Kyron Tyson getting ready to boot this one away. But they're certainly making our job harder, Paige, on who the player of the game is going to be. Do you have any thoughts? As 1 minute I thought it was Jones, then Cherry making a name for himself, but Abu Hanya also making some plays as well, getting his second touchdown of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of hard to decide who you'd want it to be. I mean, the way that Manu's been able to use his legs in this game has actually been quite impressive. He's been very elusive in his decisiveness on whether he wants to throw the ball downfield or he sees a seam and he cuts back and he exploits the gap that the offensive line is able to set for him. But it is going to be a tough one. We got one more quarter to figure it out. I like Cherry in this one. I like Manu as well, and all around the offense really responding here in the second half.
I know, too bad we don't have 11 plaques. We could just give them out to the whole offense at this rate.
Nice.
Absolutely. Well, Paige, thanks so much. We appreciate all you do down there on the field for us right now as the clock ticks and it's the end of the third quarter. We'll take that Bill Cox Furniture timeout with them. It is 35-0 Tornadoes here on the David's Abbey Carpet Game of the Week on 94.3 Jack FM. Abbey Carpet Game of the Week. Keith Dunkel alongside Scott Dunkel as 3 quarters down, 1 to go here at West High School. 35-0. Tornadoes in the lead moments ago. Alcoa able to put one on the board here in the second half to be able to extend this lead. And Scott, with that last touchdown, you know what that means.
Exactly, Heath. The fun time of the game as the clock just keeps running.
Mercy roll. Absolutely.
I know where you were going with it.
I was just waiting for you to say it. As Alcoa and West back onto the field. And the Rebels of West High School on offense still have not been able to put it into the end zone yet. And Alcoa still with their starters on the field. They'll get the snap. They'll turn, hand it off on a jet sweep. There goes Messiah Wren. And Wren is tackled after a gain of 4.
Yeah, I like watching West not quitting at all as they are really trying to get something going, trying to get down the field.
Second and 6 for the Rebels. Trips to the right, 1 to the left. And Lee in the backfield with Harrison. Harrison trying to get the Tornadoes to jump. Almost did again. Nope, they'll say they did.
It looks like it's actually going to be on West because they're going to say false start.
Yeah, it's never good when you're trying to get the other team to jump and then your own team, knowing it's coming, ends up making the penalty. 7 penalties for 45 yards for the Rebels tonight. Some Black Horse Pub end of quarter stats. There's one for you. Just taking a look back. Let's take a look at Alcoa now and how they did so far tonight. Alcoa after 3 quarters. So Manu 11 of 16 for 132 yards and 2 passing touchdowns as West looks to run the ball. Nothing doing on that play. Going back to the stats, Manu also 8 carries for 51 yards. And then some other running backs in on the action. Micah Jones, 6 carries for 34 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jameer Dean has had 2 receptions for 32 yards. Condis Cherry, 7 carries for 130. Damari DeBose, 5 carries for 20. Also, by Condis Cherry, he does have 1 rushing touchdown along with that. So, looking at all those stats, we'll talk more as we continue to move throughout the 4th quarter on our player of the game. But it's 3rd and 11 for West. As Harrison will roll out, he'll look to the sidelines, throw it, and that one's caught. It somehow got up and over the defensive back. Don't know how he fit that one in, but a good throw and an even better catch. Being able to concentrate and make that one near the sidelines and then get ahead for a 1st down was Silas Monroe. First down for the Rebels. They'll hand it off to Lee. Carter Cower, first one on the spot to make the tackle. And Lee will gain 3.
Yeah, Lee having a very good game, doing a lot of carrying so far for West.
Under 10 minutes to go. West trying to pick up some tempo here as they've got trips to the right, single receiver to the left. Harrison drops back. Here comes Darius Sutterth with the pressure and put him in a bag. He's sacked.
Yeah, he knew he didn't have a chance to get that ball over Darius and just wrapped him up, brought him down when he tucked it in, but a big, big loss for the Rebels.
With that loss, 3rd and forever for the Rebels. Ball at the 23-yard line.
We'll have one of these situations, too, if you give up the ball, you may never see it again, as Alcoa has been really good with ball control late in the game.
Ball at the 23. We'll have to get past the 44. If they want to pick up the 1st, they'll bomb it down the field, and DeBose saw it, might have had a chance on an interception, Scott, but kind of slowed down and watched that ball sail over his head and incomplete. So with that, it'll bring up 4th and long, and the Rebels will punt it away.
Yeah, next to Lee getting a lot of workout, Colquitt's got quite a bit of a workout today as well.
He certainly has. Got a lot of reps back there.
I'm sure he's wanting to make amends anyway for the last punt that he did as it went off his foot.
So 4th and long, there's the punt. This one, a higher spiral for Colquitt. Caught at the 35 and trying to wait to see what's in front of him and make a move is Dean. Dean now cuts the left side, is able to get past the 50 to the 45 to the 40. Past that, continuing down the field, trying to make the last man miss. He does. Scott, he'll get in the end zone. The only problem, folks, there's a penalty over by the 36. And so as impressive as a run as that was for Dean, the refs believe there might have been some extracurricular activity that didn't need to be had by the Tornadoes that may have springboarded him to the end zone, and they'll be moving their way on back.
Yeah, it looked like a block in the back as he turned and went the other way, seeing that he had no way to go to the right, went to the left. One of his teammates there got the rebel in the back a little bit, and the referee standing right there watching it the whole time. So he's going to bring that really good run back all the way back. And then add 10 yards even more.
So under 7 minutes to go. Tornadoes will come out on offense. Scott, because we are in mercy rule, this clock is already running and going before the offense runs their first play of the drive. So they'll take their time. They'll continue to let this clock roll.
Yeah, they're going to put that all the way back to the Alcoa 25-yard line.
And the good thing for the Tornadoes is as that clock just continues to run, they haven't even started the play clock yet. They will now, so the Tornadoes can now run another 24, 25 seconds off the clock if they want to.
Yeah, like I said, we've watched some games already this year where Alcoa just completely controlled the clock.
Trips to the left, 2 receivers to the right, empty backfield for Manu. He'll drop back, he'll look to the left side and side. They're setting up a screen as Jacoby Cooper makes one man miss. Will not make the other as 3 different Rebels tackle him and stand him up as his forward progress is stopped. Gain of a few, it'll be 2nd down. Now under 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, Alcoa with under 5:40 left in the game here. Looks like they are still trying to see where they actually marked it. Marked it down at the 29 is going to be 2nd down and about 6 for the Tornadoes. As the clock continues to run, Manu back in the shotgun, hands off.
Oh, and there goes that bad man, Scott Condis. Cherry breaks another tackle, almost breaks one more that might have helped him get himself down the field for a touchdown, but he crosses the 50. He's down at the 47.
And looks like about a 24-yard run.
Yeah, I was going to say, Paige Dower said earlier that Condis Cherry could be on his way for a 200-yard game. Well, folks, right now he's over 150. That should put him, I believe, at around 154, 56, 156 yards so far tonight for Condis. And Scott, he's now out of the game, and there's the bus. Jamon Bishop in the game. Under 5 minutes to go. The snap, the handoff, and there goes Bishop.
Yeah, that's just one of those where Alcoa wears you down a little bit, and then they put the bus in.
Well, Scott, since his night is more than likely done, I would say that Condis Cherry is our Print FX player of the game, brought to you by Kenny Jarvis of State Farm. That was 8 carries, 156 yards, and a touchdown. He averaged 19.5 yards a carry. I mean, young man was almost unstoppable tonight.
Yeah, I really enjoy watching him run, Heath. He reminds me so much of somebody like a Barry Sanders, where you think you've got him, and next thing you know it, he's by you again. He just jukes and jives this way and that way.
And you continue to see Alcoa start to empty the bench as some younger players getting opportunities. Dougherty now in the game at quarterback. It'll be a quarterback keeper for him as he is 1 yard away now from a first down. It'll be 3rd and 1 after that carry. So a player down on the field. Slow to get up is number 77 for Alcoa. That is Jacob Crow, the senior lineman committed to Texas Tech. And Crow up, now just kind of hobbling his way over to the sidelines. He's going off the field on his own, which is good. But Peggy and them will make their way over to the sidelines to check on him and make sure that young man's okay. We've seen some skills players. We've seen the quarterback now backup start to make their way in the game. After that last one, you may see them start to slowly trickle in some younger linemen as well, but still some starters on the field. I see Big Ton. I see Colton Moore on the football field at the moment. A few others as well. Marley Watts, I believe, still in the game. There's the handoff to the bus. The bus spins around. He'll pick up the first down and tried to churn his way for some more. He got a couple more before being taken down to the turf.
Yeah, a good little spin move. Looked like he was going to get caught. Just spun out of it and got him about another 4 yards.
So now under 3 minutes to go. Tornadoes continuing to tick off time off the clock, and they'll be able to chew up a lot more here in these downs unless a timeout is called. Bishop in the backfield for Dougherty. 2 receivers out to the right, tight end, split off to the right side, single receiver to the left. Dougherty will roll to that side, look to pass. He'll throw it down the field. He's got a man.
Nice
There's
catch.
Haynes Hawkins. Did he hold on to it? He did.
All right, good catch. You saw him looking that ball in, hands up like he was supposed to, and then just got those feet down in bounds before falling out of bounds.
Great catch by Hawkins. It's now second down for the Tornadoes. Good job just tiptoeing the sidelines and Dougherty putting it only where Hawkins could catch it. It is 2nd and 4 for Alcoa. Under 2 minutes to go in this game. Clock continuing to move. And Scott, if you see on the field over there, split off on the tight end is Justin Lindsay. So Lindsay now in the game as well. A young man that we said we thought would start to see make his way on the field for the Tornadoes. And Bishop breaks a tackle. He breaks another, pushes himself inside the 15. A great run by the junior.
Yeah, and the bus just rolling over people here.
At the 14-yard line for the Tornadoes. Scott must have known it was a school night as he let some of the Rebels get on the bus and took them for a ride to the 14. And now the Tornadoes in the maroon zone. 1:02 and counting off the clock, now under a minute.
You're getting better at that maroon there, Heath.
I've been really focused on it. 2 receivers out to the left, tight end on the left side, single receiver on the right. Bishop still in the backfield. The snap, the handoff, and there goes the bus. Turning on the Jets. Can he get there? And Scott, I think he fumbled it near the 5. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they...
Oh, man. What are they going to say? Was he down, or did they give it to the Rebels? I think they gave it to. I can't tell.
Yeah, I haven't seen
There they go. They finally make the official call, and man, the bus hit a bump in the road and got a flat tire, and now the Rebels got the ball back. But Scott, with that clock rolling, I don't know if they'll get a playoff.
No, I doubt they will.
Looks like
15 seconds.
They're just going to bring it back over to the sidelines. They're going to let the clock tick, and with 10 seconds to go, the clock will continue to roll. So is this one now under 5, 2, 1, 0. As the buzzer sounds, the Tornadoes will leave Knoxville with another victory and move to 4-0 for the season. As for the Rebels, they'll move to 0-3. Scott, despite the score, hard-fought game for this Rebels football team.
Yeah, Heath, it really was. West played a really good game, probably one of the better games that they played this year. They knew, as we saw before, how they fell to Maryville earlier this year and really just struggled. Alcoa actually kept them off the scoreboard where Maryville allowed them to score. But West impressed. I do not see this being a bad season for them. They are still a team to compete and be out there, and look for them to be in the playoffs in 5A.
Scott, right now, as Alcoa making their way over to Coach Nix, it's Condis Cherry, number 6, who's our player of the game. And so we will look here soon to get him over with Paige and get an interview with her as she'll try to talk to him, also try to talk to Coach Nix here in the post-game show. So we'll see if they're able to get him on the interview before he goes to the huddle. It looks like they do, as Condis Cherry's making his way over to Paige now, and looks like she'll interview him right now.
Hey guys, yeah, here with our player of the game, 156 yards on just 8 carries. What were you seeing tonight that made you so effective?
Just like my lineman blocking, just like great blocking, just the whole game. So I just always give praise to them boys for just blocking so the holes can be open just to make the runs possible.
Does it fuel you more when you're able to break through a couple of tackles and then you get going a little bit after that?
Yeah, because after I broke that first one, I just feel like it's going to be a lot more. I don't feel like they can tackle me now, so just feel like they couldn't tackle me.
What have you liked about the way that this team has fought this season?
Just like in like the summer, we like did some scrimmages and like we kind of looked at like kind of like decent in the scrimmages, and everybody thought we was gonna like fall down because we moved up to 4A, but just like getting through adversity and just proving everybody wrong.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was our player of the game, guys.
Thank you so much, Paige. What a game from Condis Cherry tonight. 156 yards rushing. Man had quite the performance. Right now, Coach Knox talking to the team. We're going to keep it here so that when he finishes, Paige is able to get him on the call before we take a break here in the post-game show. But, Scott, while we're waiting for Coach Knox, an electric night for Condis, but electric night for this football team all around. There was a lot of players in the mix for player of the game who really stood out tonight.
Yeah, there were way too many to count. But Condis just a little bit more above it. I mean, again, you look at another great night from Abuhanya, 2 touchdowns on the night for him. You look at Manu. You look at Micah Jones as well with 2 touchdowns. You could pretty much give it to anyone, but Condis just really stood out a little bit more tonight for the Tornadoes. But another thing to look at too, Heath, we are done now with the 6A teams. We've played the 5A teams. All we have left in front of us are regional games against the 4A teams in Region 2.
Yeah, Scott, I mean, so many players tonight that had their name thrown in the hat for player of the game. Paige had talked about Manu as potentially being another option. Thought that Abuhanya really tried hard to get himself that plaque. He had a really great night. Jameer Dean always really shows out. Some other players had big-time performances as well for the Tornadoes. But it looks like Paige now getting a chance to make her way over. She should be getting Coach Knox here on the call interview in a moment, and here she comes.
Hey, Coach, you are Coach. Hey, guys, here with head coach Brian Knox, celebrating another win with your daughter. How nice is it to continue to win in front of your daughter now, a varsity cheerleader?
It's an unbelievable experience. You know, it's something I don't, could get more special than coaching and being here at Alcoa, but having her out here is huge. It means everything.
We had Condis Cherry as our player of the game. He had 156 yards on 8 carries. What is it like having a power back like him?
Yeah, he's just an electric ball player, and he continues to get better, to improve, and I think he's probably one of the most underappreciated kids we've had in a while. You know, I don't think everybody realizes all that he can do, and anything we ask him to do. He's a great defender. Last year, not played as much on defense this year, but he does a ton for us, and he's electric, that's for sure.
There's so much that could be said about Manu's arm, but how about his elusiveness when he decides to run the ball and the way he's able to cut up the gaps and hit the seams? How important is it to have that dual quality for him?
Yeah, it just keeps us on schedule. It keeps us from, you saw a couple times when we took sacks and negative yardage plays, it ends up, I think it's the most punts we've had in a single game, probably even more than the Maryville game. So I think that's what's so important is he does a great job of moving in the pocket, running when he has to, gets the first down, keeps us ahead of schedule, and so makes a big asset for sure.
Heading into break, how important has this first half of the season, and what can you take from this part to bring you into the second half?
I think we're just continue to improve. We're trying to find stuff every day. When you show up at our practice on Monday, you should have no idea who the opponent is, what's going on, whether we won, whether we lost. We're going to watch the film and find things that we can get individually better at because there's still a lot of good teams left to play.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Paige. As you mentioned a minute ago, Scott, they get done with some of the big boys above them in classification. Now they'll fully focus the rest of the regular season on 4A football. So a lot of opportunity for them to continue to develop, continue to get better, and continue to see what that region moving forward is going to look like for them in the future. And I really think you're going to have still some more good games for them with that final game against Anderson County really being big for them.
Yeah, Heath, that one is really looming large on the 31st of October. But another game that I think right now, we will wait and see what happens tomorrow night with Heritage and Anderson County, but a very improved Heritage team coming out on the 17th of October, as both that the Heritage and Anderson County games are away from Alcoa. So we've got to go into some hostile environments there and take both of those two teams on later on in the year towards mid to late October.
3 games left on the road in the regular season at Fulton, at Heritage, and at Anderson County. But thank goodness next Friday, Scott, we'll find ourselves back in the A as the Alcoa Tornadoes will host the Patriots of Union County. That will also be homecoming. So a special night at Alcoa. We certainly would invite you all to come out to that and check that out and celebrate with all the friends and family that will be there that night for homecoming. But if you're unable to come to the game, that's all right. We've got you covered, as you can tune in multiple ways on the NFHS Network, on the YouTube stream, and also on 94.3 Jack FM. So a lot of different ways to listen to the broadcast. We'll be sure to bring that to you. And Scott, if you can't come to the game, if you can't listen to the call, we also will keep you updated on social media updates on 2 Hype Sports as well throughout the night. Thank you so much, Trevor Dunkel, for holding that down for us tonight. But right now, Scott, I want to take a break here on the postgame show. When we come back, let's bring Coulter on to talk about our final stats of the ball game. You're listening to the David's Abbey Carpet Game of the Week on 94.3 Jack FM. We'll be back soon. key plays here on the broadcast to make us successful, and we're very appreciative of that. As we close here, I also want to give a special shout out to Paul Romero and the staff here at West High School for being able to get us in the booth and giving us the space to have a great call tonight. The Alcoa coaches who were willing and gracious enough to be able to share the spot in the booth with us as well. We've had a lot of experience on the visitors' bleachers, and never hurts to be back in the press box. As much as we love being close to the fans, it's nice to be up here and be able to get the view we have. So again, thank you so much for the accommodations. Thanks for allowing us to be up here and call this game on a beautiful night for high school football in Tennessee. Last but not least, thank you to our listeners for tuning in each and every week. Hope you enjoyed the call as much as we did, and we can't wait to bring the next one to you at home next week on Friday night. That game will kick off at 7 p.m. with a pregame show at 6:30. Thanks again for listening to the David's Abbey Carpet Game of the Week. Your final score, Alcoa 35, West 0. Until next time, we say so long, good night, and yes, that just happened.